Futures trying to get back into positive territory here as we get going on a Monday. Happy brand new week. Happy day after Super Bowl. Market is quiet so far, but there is a few key things to understand. Coming up this week, we're going to get major inflation data as of tomorrow morning. At this time, make sure you're with us for January CPI, the next and latest reading on what is happening as far as the inflation battle goes. That being said, market's still set to start the week at all-time highs right across the board. We'll touch on a few individual names moving around here this morning as well. Tesla, one of those, more price cuts coming, temporary, quote-unquote temporary price cuts for Elon in the Model Y. We'll also look at some of the names coming up this week. There's a ton of names reporting this week that could be key to the overall market as well. It is Monday, February 12th, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. There's a SPY right now. Yeah, look at that. Dead flat. Absolutely dead flat right now. A ton of volume, I was just noting, going into the close on Friday, but not much to look at here. The Q is very similar to kick things off this morning as well. Pretty quiet ahead of not only key inflation data, but I'm just noting a long list of Fed speakers to come this week once again as well. So they're trying to get them all through the line, I guess, before we get to the next Fed meeting coming up in a couple of weeks. But happy Monday. How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. I watched a little bit of Super Bowl, and it was nice and relaxing. But yeah, not too many headlines today, guys. CPI obviously coming tomorrow. We got that revision last time, so let's keep an eye out on that. And then, yeah, Tesla with some price cuts. Interesting here. He's trying not to blame it on the revised Model Y. That's initially what I thought. He wants to get rid of old inventory. Apparently, you need manufacturing consistency to stay productive, so that's what he's showing.
Yeah, I have to read into this more, but temporary price cuts seems kind of interesting, something that we haven't heard from him, at least in the past, as far as models are concerned. But yeah, a good look for the overall market here, a ton of things to look forward to this week. Yeah, RIVN downside on a downgrade. That's another one we can touch on as far as things moving in the opposite direction. But a ton of earnings this week. I mean, there's Airbnb, there's Coin coming up. There's lots and lots. Happy post Super Bowl, guys. Happy Monday.
That's right. Happy Monday for all of you that watched the game. Then the champs stay the champs. And I feel like that's a theme that can work for the market too. It's like, okay, they repeat what we got going on. Q's at highs, Google was strong, Microsoft strong. So stick with it. If the champ's going to be champs, then the tech names are going to ride it, and NVIDIA as well, I should have said, going to ride that party. So I feel like not a heck of a lot has changed. I'm just glad it was, because like, look, man, that was a long game.
Yep.
I forget, someone gave a stat about how long the actual game was.
Oh, really?
And it was, I forget, they said it was the number whatever longest playoff game because it went to overtime. But I'm just glad it was worth it, because I got less sleep last night because I actually stay up to watch this game. And at least it was entertaining from a competitive standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, that was a highly competitive game. We went back and forth. Like, if you wanted to see performance under pressure, then, you know, outside of watching us do the show every single day, I think that's about as good as it's going to get there. But I don't know. Like, I had a lot of fun.
Seventh longest game, someone.
Was it 7? Okay, there you go.
Says.
I knew it was up there. But
Yeah. My
and not just NFL history.
My 9-year-old stayed up as well because, of course, we were cheering on the Kansas City Chiefs. So go Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And I'm almost certain they're already engaged. I expect an announcement very, very soon.
Wasn't there a prop on that, or was
I was looking for? My wife said they're already engaged, so I believe in that. So I feel like that's going to get announced very, very soon. What the hell? Disney's down to 107 right now? Okay. Yeah, what's up, everybody? What a great opportunity there. I hear that the guys on the desk didn't stay up, so we won't be talking too much football about that over there today, but we'll see what they're up to. Fabian, did you watch the Super Bowl? What was that?
I'm sorry, what?
He was watching Twin Peaks. Like I don't even.
Hold on a second. Isn't that like a show from like the 80s?
I don't know. I thought that was like, I'm like, what?
Like the old, like you watched Twin Peaks.
Did your cable get cut
like the
or
1980 show. Oh, it's not a remake or anything. You actually watched Twin Peaks over the Super Bowl.
You know there was Super Bowl, right?
Like there was a halftime show. There was a famous R&B artist in the halftime show, Fabian, and there was good commercials. Okay, cool.
Where?
Twin Peaks.
What world are we even living in right now?
Twin Peaks.
All right. Twin Peaks is the best show ever, apparently.
You know, I wouldn't know.
I've never watched. I couldn't tell you one thing.
I used to watch Dallas. We used to watch
I just
Dallas
assume it's something to do with
household.
mountains.
Okay. Wow, I'm speechless there.
All right. Yeah. That's funny. Shout out to Bob W. there in the chat. All right, we've got a couple things written on here. We're going to be watching RIVN. We've got a couple things going on. I like DraftKings today. I think NVIDIA I've got some good levels here for that as well. We'll be able to do this. Wedbush reiterates and outperform on Apple too just now. So there should be some exciting things to trade. Yeah, if he said Ren and Stimpy, then we'd feel
What's wrong with that?
a little bit better about the situation around here. All right, back over to the desk.
What was your Super Bowl food of choice?
I was in and out of sleep, Brendo. So there was not a whole lot of food being eaten, yeah. So put me on the spot there.
Sean, we started quite the debate on the weekend about guac and I mean, guac won by a landslide. Let's be honest. But what did you guys end up eating yesterday? More importantly,
we didn't look. Guac, it's not even close. Like guac, between guac and salsa. I mean, when you ask that question, I know some people prefer salsa. They're both good, but fresh guacamole is just at a different level. To me, I don't put them in. You don't put them in the same category.
I mean, I put them in the same category.
Like,
it's a dip.
But I don't.
Brendo. I mean, Brendo was going back and forth a little bit with it, I think.
We had both.
Yeah, we had both too.
They didn't last long.
We went to Whole Foods yesterday. Oh no, Farm Boy actually yesterday, and they had this great sour cream and onion kind of dip there. And my kids were like, we're gonna get that. So we had the chips with the dip, plus we had the guac, plus we had the salsa. And then you know what we actually had, Brendan and Neil? You guys probably have had these before. They're actually from Costco, and they were deep fried dill pickle chips.
I know I've had those.
Yeah,
before.
you throw them. You throw them in the oven, but they're really amazing.
So good.
So we had some of that. What did you guys have there? Brendan just left the screen.
I did 3 different cuts of steak. That was 24-hour marinade.
Yeah. What's your favorite? So I went out for dinner on Saturday. I had flank.
I did one of those. I did a hanger steak, bavette, and what was the other one?
Bavette.
Oh, flank. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Fancy.
Yeah, we went.
We just did ribs and wings. I feel so boring now.
Yeah, we did a whole chicken, and that was just a platter of everything. That was like a smorgasbord of that. But yeah, good. Thanks for asking that, Breno. Yeah, so we had the tweet. So I actually put go over to. I think I can. Here it is. I think I was.
Little Thomas.
Oh no! It's because I put it out here. Here it is. It's one of these ones about the guac. Yeah, you can go find it right here. Guacamole or. Here's Elon, by the way, like thinking about Mars, apparently. I thought that was funny when he tweeted that out. But anyways, yeah, go find episode 13. Thanks for all the comments on the chat. It was a heck of a lot of fun. You know what stock we talked about on the podcast that I think could go
Airbnb.
this week?
Oh, shoot, no.
Yeah, we talked about Airbnb a little bit too, but I talked a little bit about Roku. I think this name coming out with earnings on the 15th, 13th,
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, the 15th, yeah. So this is a name that I think can really fly here. Go find out why we talked about it, but we went over some earnings plays. Again, a 7 to 9% short float here on Roku, and just has a great chance to go. You're going to see great numbers coming from the Super Bowl, and obviously people spending a lot of time at home watching Twin Peaks, Super Bowl, things like that.
How do you even watch
So people need Roku and streamers for that. I really like Roku heading into this week. And then another name that we had discussed, Shopify, is what the hell? This is $93? Like, oh my God. Yeah, up nicely today. Another 2% upside goes Shopify. This is absolutely insane. Oh yeah, and by the way, we did have veggies and dip and stuff. So we did have some healthy stuff. You know what my favorite veggie and dip is? Just those little sweet tomatoes, like those little ones.
Goodness.
You don't even need like a ranch dressing, and then carrots and cucumbers.
I have a bad
snap
admission to make.
peas.
Like, we have vegetables. I did not eat any vegetables.
I ate some
during
vegetables.
the game, and usually I'm really good about that. Like, I'll And we eat a salad every single day for lunch. I always make sure, even when I'm having ribs and wings, like we're gonna cut up some carrots, green peppers, like the whole nine. I just didn't eat any of it. It is what it is. But I just looked this up. I didn't realize David Duchovny was in Twin Peaks. I had no clue about that, so I learned something today. Thank you for that. But I actually, there was a debate. I know you guys were talking about Roku on Thursday for earnings. Between Tuesday, you get Datadog on Tuesday, and you get some other possible runners. Tuesday and Thursday are the big days this week for earnings. And then what's weird about this week is we get CPI on tomorrow instead of Wednesday, which is, I feel like don't we usually have CPI on a Wednesday? I think it comes tomorrow. Anyways,
we have oil on Wednesday.
I don't know.
Western Meyer saying Paramount crashed yesterday. That's one of the problems with streaming, I guess. There's a lot of different variables out there. Cable.
We cut the cord, so I was watching on DAZN, and
that's fine, right?
I'm not going to out my wife or anything. She comes out. My neighbors are over watching the game, and she goes to pull out right when there's 2 minutes left in the game.
Oh no.
She pulls out her laptop because she wants to get some work done.
Slowed everything down.
And it's only when you turn on, she's connecting it. Sometimes it'll start buffering. I know because it's happened before when I've been watching football. Yeah. So it was fine, but that 30 seconds, it turned back on right as they were making, right as they're about to kick field goal. I'm like, oh goodness, if I had missed that field goal.
Yeah, we have
wait. No,
you have to, and I know it was just when it's buffering, but you have to get the fastest, because once your kid grows up, man, my kids are on the phone. We have 75, honestly, things connected in my house to the Wi-Fi. It's something crazy like that. But okay, back over the desk. Sharif, what were you having during Super Bowl?
Sean, I went out Friday night, so my Saturday night, so my Sunday was shot. So yeah, that's the way.
No, what did you eat during Super Bowl though?
I didn't eat. I was sleeping. That's what I'm trying to say.
You didn't watch the game at all?
I in and out. Wake up.
How late were you out?
No, hold on. Sleep.
You got to eat. Would you?
No, I didn't eat during those hours, Neil. From 6:30 to 10:30, there was no consumption of food.
You didn't eat any food. So you haven't eaten food since what time yesterday?
I don't know, 12, 3.
Oh, you got to get on that.
Am I under cross-examination? What's happening?
Someone get this man a burger or something.
Let's talk about Amazon. How about that? Back to the upside a little bit this morning anyways. We were at all-time highs back on Friday. If you go back to February 2nd, we learned that Jeff Bezos plans to sell up to 50 million of his shares. He sold 2 billion worth, 50 million individual shares. He sold 2 billion notional worth going back to the end of last week. Why not at all-time highs?
Unreal here, Brendo. Yeah, between February 7th and 8th, he was selling shares of about 1 million to 3 million lots at a time, and then letting them know that he wants to actually sell another 50 million shares. That was advised on February 8th there. So we'll have to wait and see how much selling he does. But yeah, give us opportunity possibly to get a lower price.
Yeah, I was reading this on the weekend. Apparently those sales put him within shouting distance of the richest person on earth, 22.6 billion this year, reaching 200 billion according to Bloomberg. So Jeff Bezos selling at all-time highs. I see we have Michael Noss getting ready. Guys, we were talking about this over the weekend as well on the podcast. If you haven't done so, go check it out. Amazon all-time highs going into the weekend. What do we do this week?
Amazon kind of I just put it in the chat. I
want to ask Michael Noss.
I could say it out loud. 175. It's not a double top per se because really it's a Friday high, that high, the all-time high, and then you get the 175.
That 175.
Also the pre-market high. So this is So it's interesting. You have Google, which is closing its earnings gap, and you have Amazon, which is breaking out from its earnings gap. And so now I want to dip by to 160. I actually was looking at Google, not Amazon today. Now I kind of I want to dip by 172.50 here because there's your earnings top. And let me draw the line first. There's your earnings top. There's your resistance level the next day. Not yesterday. On Friday, afternoon support back into 172.50. That's a dip buy at that price if we get it. And if it wants to break it out, it's a clean 175 break. Amazon. Maybe I like this more than I liked Alphabet. But Alphabet has room to close its gap to 151. I think there's still some room for that to go. They're just winning. Reach. I mean, if you want to talk, if we can talk about the streaming side of it, I actually haven't seen Reacher. My wife has, which is just weird because I'm the one that put her on the show, and that is like the numbers they're getting on just that show alone. Like it's like, would you believe like Reacher is done better this season, like season 2 of Reacher. It does better than like the Disney Marvel stuff. Like the Marvel shows do not get the views that Reacher is getting on Amazon. That's not what people would think. It's not a dig at Disney or anything. It's just
kind of
true.
is a bit.
But and then you throw on top of that, hey, they're a heck of a lot more than just that. You got AWS, which is kicking butt as usual, and you guys were one of the things that I found really interesting on the pod was the discussion over the optimization of searching. I've had the same issues when I'm searching on Amazon. Like it's great, I use it every single day, but that it can be better and it can be improved. And you know that they're using AI for that, and that will just be that next wave when suddenly it gets ridiculously more efficient, and at some point the drone's just going to show up to your house when you thought of what you want to get.
No, I know. That's why I kind of laugh.
Stuff is going to be sent to your house. It's like, oh, I totally forgot to get more, I don't know, like paper towels, and it'll just already be at the house because like, yeah, you're supposed to do this about now. We predict you're going to, and it's going to be at your house, and I'm not even going to care that I paid a little bit more for it that way. But yeah, I like Amazon here at 175.
Yeah, I really like Amazon. I can't even believe we did talk about it, how high up that is. And I don't think the experience shopping on the Amazon app is very good. So we did talk about that. But look at the NASDAQ starting to head down. I just look at, again, another name here, Shopify. This is an interesting 93 level here today. So let's see, like we just sort of based out there and was unable to break it. But I mean, look at this stock. This stock is broken way up, right? This chart looks fantastic to me. It's Shopify. I mean, obviously we would like a little bit of a pullback here, but with earnings coming this week as well, watch out for this 93 to break through here on Shopify. So this is another great name to have a look at. I think, yeah, the Amazon, the AWS, the streaming is just a little baby thing for them, but hey, it's there and it's still going. So we'll wait to see what happens here with Shopify and then Amazon. Wow, we said this story about, you know, talking to friends and saying like, when is it going back to all-time highs? Well, it's already going back there. So we're gonna have to watch out for this 175 break again for Amazon. But yeah, the best names just keep on chugging along here, and there's absolutely no reason not to think that they're going to stop doing this. I mean, their earnings were great, lots of momentum here. I'm a little nervous about this NVIDIA top and things like that. So we'll talk about that when we get a chance. But let's go see what Michael Noss is up to.
There he is. Yeah, Michael Noss, CMT over at Trade Ideas, back on a Monday to get things started this week with Mr. Noss. Solar look this morning. Tell us why.
It may be time. It may be time. And I know me and Sean have been talking about this in the after hour show forever now. And we've been waiting for the moment. And I think it might be. So if we go to the first slide I have, this is a scan that I run every weekend. You guys know I go through like a couple hundred weekly charts on the weekend. And in Trade Ideas, you can sort by all kinds of things, whatever you define as strength. I sorted by how strong it was in the last 5 days and how strong it was in the last 10 days. And solar actually came up on both of those scans. So showing that at least there may be some under the hood strength in a whole sea of weakness that's happened for a long time. So we're going to go way out from the monthly chart and we're going to zoom into the daily chart, and I'm going to give a case for why it may finally be time to try to pick a bottom on solar. The first chart here you can see I have is a monthly chart. So this is going way, way back. That prior high that we've pulled back into is all the way back in 2014 to 2016. So very, very long time ago, a different world ago, one would say. But these areas can and do quite often turn into something significant. And if you want proof of that, you can see, you know, when we got back to the 2008 high in financials many, many years later, that was a struggle. You can look at Microsoft when it finally got back to its dot-com bubble highs. These areas, even though they're really, really long time ago, on a macro picture, they can absolutely have an impact. So we're back to those prior highs. Again, that's like 45, 46 bucks, give or take. If we go to the next chart here, I have a weekly chart, which we're going to zoom in on a second, but also I have an indicator highlighted. A lot of people know about the MACD. It's a very common indicator. I've highlighted the histogram part of this because without getting in all the specifics of what's going on there, you can see that when we have a sustained amount of green in the MACD histogram indicator, basically just meaning that one moving average is on top of another for a period of time, you can see trends that persist in solar or in tan and a lot of securities actually. And in the last couple weeks, we've flipped a green here again in this MACD indicator. And we also have a weekly high that we've pulled back to. So we've been waiting a long time here for some sort of support to materialize in solar. Again, it may be maybe now. That's the kind of point I'm making. Let's go into the next chart, which is just a zoomed in. And this is really, I think, what made it hit all of those scans. If you look at that, that's a weekly engulfing candle. So not only is it engulfing 1 week, but it's engulfing 3 weeks of action. So in a week, we almost erased a whole month of going down and chopping sideways on strong volume with a very strong close at a support level. And me and Sean again talked about this on the nightly show before, where $40 seems to be a big deal on this name. It seemed like it was a big deal on this name again last week. So I think if I'm going to take a trade on the index, that would be my line in the sand. Under $40, I think we have to go. If we zoom in again to the daily chart here, you can see if we draw an anchored VWAP from that last prior high that happened at the beginning of the year, end of last year, we are right there now. So this basically just says anybody year to date, essentially, who's been buying solar and been buying tan is about break even to the point and could be flipping positive. So if that flips positive, I actually have a study that I ran on year-to-date anchored VWAPs, and when they flip positive, there does seem to be a little bit of predictive value there. So if that sentiment changes, then we're going to take a look at some stocks. So we have Run here as just one name. I'm going to spend most of the day, or at least part of the day, getting ready for the close show, where I'm going to go through and try to see if I can find some good solar names. But this Run, if you noticed, I anchored the VWAP from the same height, and we are above that now. So same with anchoring a VWAP from the all-time lows, we're above that as well. So this one has about a 17% short float, and I wanted to give you guys a name that I really like the look of. So this Run looks interesting. You have those prior lows that sit around $13 or $14. If I'm wrong, you're going to have to get out of that. That high that I anchored that VWAP from is all the way up at $20, and we're at $16 a share. So a good potential gain for a very controlled risk if I'm right, and it looks like we're nearing the bottom in solar.
Interesting. We'll stay tuned for that coming up after the close, as you mentioned, with Sean on the recap tonight. We'll get a few more ideas. This is a group, let's be honest, that's taken a back seat for the better part of a year at this point. So good find, Mr. Noss. Have a wonderful Monday.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, thank you for the promotion. And on that note, let's go to the market recap. Yeah, no, we've been looking at tan for a while. I mean, I thought a big name for there, and he's going to look up for some names for us as well. But we've been talking about Enphase, ENP. There it is. I wasn't sure if it was NASDAQ or New York, but this is another one here that this is going to be the king of the castle. And if it can, well, I mean, there's also First Solar and a bunch of different names, but look at the bump up in Enphase just in the last week. Like, we were down at 100. You're up 23% in a week here on Enphase. So, I mean, there are a lot of aggressive names in this category. Obviously, with rates starting to maybe come down. I mean, we talked about this. We'll talk about this more today. We have Frank coming twice a week as well to talk all about rates and policy. But I don't know. I'm not convinced about the solar area yet. I do think that the TAN ETF would be the right place to go. Therefore, you're getting all of your money in and not worrying about specific names. But we'll have Michael on in the afternoon on the recap show, and we'll figure this all out. Again, breaking through a 50 period. I like it. I mean, this is a good little level here. We've been talking about TAN, FXI, uranium, things like that. So there's a lot of good opportunities here to discuss ETFs and whatnot tonight with Michael. So we'll do that. But yeah, hey, if solar is your thing, I think nibbling in on some of this ETF might make a little bit of sense. And then if you do some research underneath the hood, you'll find some better names. So, or I don't know, potentially better moves.
Or individual names that can give you maybe more explosive moves with more risk, I think is kind of what you do. If you're going outside of the ETFs because you want a little bit more risk, but then you want a little bit more upside as well. If you're into finding confluence to some of the stuff that Michael just said, Sunrun, I just wanted to say confluence, but the Sunrun with a golden cross. The 50 actually just on this last close on the daily chart here, just on Friday. Actually, it looks like it might have been Thursday. It doesn't, who cares? It doesn't, Thursday, Friday, doesn't really matter. It's just an indicator, the 50 period crossing the 200 period moving average to the upside, which is a bit of a bullish sign that you're getting a trend reversal. So you add that to what Michael was saying with not just anchoring VWAP to the recent low, but also the recent high, and it's breaking above that as well. So you get a little bit of confluence technically with Sunrun. That just happens to be the one I pulled up because that's what Michael was talking about, but that's an intriguing name. And before we get to Adara, yes, if you have a small float of under like a couple of million shares, check that. I think it's 3 million, this BMR, and you have a partnership with NVIDIA, then you're probably going to have a wild day of trading, which this BMR is. I mean, anyone can pull out the, zoom out the daily chart to sort of see that it's getting into uncharted territories here past the $5 level and starting to accelerate a bit. It's one thing when you catch one of these, and everyone's talking about it in the chat after it made the breakout, but it's one thing if you catch these early where you can find the pre-market support levels and the higher lows. Once it's going parabolic into the open, 420, that was a previous high that turned into support. Like that looks like a level. If it could come back and hold that, then you can actually get a trade off of that. High probability of halting if it stays this strong at the open.
Oh yeah.
So that's.
All right, let's get some analyst moves for you to start things off this morning. Upgrades and downgrades. Adara has that over at the screen.
Shopify here, price target increase from 65 to 90 ahead of earnings tomorrow morning. This is coming from Truist Securities. PepsiCo getting an upgrade from Citigroup. This one reported last week. We also have Lowe's trading up almost 2% after an upgrade from JP Morgan Chase, and TKO here with an upgrade from Jefferies. Downgrades, Rivian leading the way here with a downgrade from Barclays, and price target slash from 25 to 16 here. Unity trading lower after a downgrade from Macquarie. Hershey's getting a downgrade from Morgan Stanley, and last but not least, Duke Energy getting a downgrade from BofA Securities, guys.
Oh, Unity. We're gonna, like, a few of those names I think we're already talking about in the rundown for sure. So I'll pick on Unity for a quick little second because we were just talking about the Golden Cross, and every time I say it, it is just an indicator. It does not mean the stock is going up. Why? Because Unity had a Golden Cross on, it looks like the 24th of January, and the local high after that was immediate resistance, and then it fell right back beneath both the 50 and the 200 period, and is looking like it wants to almost resume trend back into the downside. So this is, if the volume was better, and it was, like if it was high volume and strong, I'd be talking about, hey, why aren't you looking for a breakout at 35.50? But instead, the fail back underneath the 50 period and the 200, you just rejected a 34 break. If the market does get higher, like this would be the kind of name, if it presses back into 34, or maybe even like the 35 levels, that would look good for a bit of a short. They don't report until the end of the month either, so you don't have to worry about them until the 26th of February. So it'd be on the radar if the market gets strong and this pops into one of the even dollars, but yeah, just Unity. We talk about golden death crosses and those types of averages. I never think that is a reason for a trade. It's the kind of, okay, if they have a good quarter and like there's a good piece of news, and then on top of that you've got like the cross with it, or you have some other indicator you like, it's making higher lows off a big level, whatever it might be, and then you can add a golden or death cross to it, fine. But on its own, yeah, it doesn't. It tends to not mean a heck of a lot.
Unity was one of those just wild names there. They've released. They've recently let go of some developers and their sales team and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see if the year of efficiency hits those guys. I just added a firm to the sticky note, which I'm getting out immediately. Again, a pretty disastrous day there on Friday after earnings on Thursday. You could see a nice little move up and down. We talked about how wild that was when it was released. Then we had that 50 level, which unfortunately I was looking at something else. We were able to get short 48.50, and it just kept tanking all day before kind of finding a little bit of a base down here around $42, $43. So for me, honestly, I really like this 45 45-ish area short. 45, it could be 46 to the very top. I'm writing down let's start a firm at 45, but this could be another one of those names that obviously rips early, and then if we're able to find you know, some sort of a top like we did on Friday there, then that will be something interesting. So yeah, I got a firm on my mind. I know it wasn't on the upgrades and downgrades, but I'm downgrading a firm today.
First segment of the show brought to you by Hedge Eye's real-time alerts. They notched an 81% winning percentage in 2023. Get an investing edge in 2024 with Hedge Eye's daily trade signals. Trader TV viewers get 66% off at hedgeeye.com/TTV. Let's get things started here with a look at the overall market. Sharif's going to help us out with a look at the futures.
50.44, guys, was the overnight close. 50.46 the overnight high. So it's a blue sky setup, so no clear resistance levels right now on the futures. But let's go ahead and look at Friday's close at 50.25. Let's say that area for support.
All right, lots to get to here this morning, lots to get to coming up this week. If you haven't done so, make sure you grab that. Every single day, it is absolutely free. Goes right to your inbox. All you need is an email address. Hey, guess what? There's more positive talk about AI. I feel like I've never said that before. More analysts positive on this one as well. NVIDIA this morning, 0.6 to the upside. We were just noting Intel is actually a little bit higher on the volume scale this morning, but don't see anything on Intel specifically. 725 trying to hold here for NVIDIA this morning.
Yeah, over 1 million shares traded so far. Unusual for this time of the day for Intel, Brendo. But NVIDIA with the upgrade. Malaise Research raising the price target here from 750 to 920. Not really explaining why. I haven't had a chance to look at the analyst report, but we know Sam Altman came out last week and said that he's raising money to the tune of $7 trillion trying to build out this AI infrastructure.
Yeah, never mind 700. Let's go to 920 now for NVIDIA, guys.
Yeah, like, can we just 1,000? We got 11.
Is that where we're getting at? Where are we
12.
getting at?
When are you splitting? That's what. When are you going to split again? Middle of the year. I'll call it Q3, early Q3. I'm just making that up. But at some point, that's where we're headed. Is to another split. The concern to me is all you keep hearing is great news in terms of more spending in the space by their customers, and you know none of that's really slowing down, and that's what you're going to get out of big tech earnings because everyone's saying all of the right things, which just benefits NVIDIA. I mean, AMD is, like, at this point, as high as NVIDIA is, AMD is more expensive. ARM is more expensive. Now talking like on a price to earnings basis, like both those two high flyers are more expensive than NVIDIA. Like these guys are the more reasonable PE at this point, looking at how strong they are, but you don't get in the way of it. The way I see it, you just had a nice consolidation top off that 700 level. Remember, like it just couldn't. It was going back and forth off 700 all last week. It seemed okay, fine. Maybe not every single day, but you break it, you'd be underneath it, you'd end there, you'd go under, you'd back and forth, and then on Friday we just broke away from it. So next stage up, broke the top, buy dips in the previous resistance, trend continues higher. That's as simple as I want to make it. So I think it was 707 to 710 was the previous resistance. It's buying into that unless that breaks and 700 gives it up. It might require a lot of patience today because you're at 725. But if it gets in the teens, I think that's a reasonable starting point. To the Intel point, because we're usually looking at Intel throughout the days. Well, Intel ended very strong on Friday. As a matter of fact, like, that's about as clear a pattern as you're going to get. You had a very tight opening range. It then broke the top. The top became the clear bottom at that 43 level, and then 43.5 was your resistance. So I think 43 looks like a buy zone for me on Intel today. It's at 43.30. It's a decent amount of volume, but I would caution. I'd swear I saw a big dark pool print on volume. Like I think a lot of the volume was just one of the overnight prints. So I don't know that it's doing an exorbitant amount of volume. I think it's just higher because of that dark pool print. But I do still like that 43 level for Intel.
I'm okay. Look, yeah, I mean, we love Intel. On Friday, we had a bang, and then a bang, and then another bang. We were long NVIDIA down here at 703 on Friday. Wound up taking $16 or $17 on the trade, and that was just on the last piece, but it was my number one stock, and we were just playing off some support down there near 700. We talked about that. We also talked about it breaking upside here into the 705, 706 area, and then that also continued to go long. So no matter which area you played there, you were right. But the thing about it was breaking over 700. It was pretty key level there. We got some upgrades. We had this top at 705, 706 that we looked at. Now today, it's kind of like, I just don't really feel that, I don't know, who upgraded these guys? Like, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to find the name here. It's not a big one anyways. Melius Research? I don't know. I don't think it's going to flush down. But that's not a big deal for me. I'm more excited about the RIVN one. That's a Barclays. But again, still upside, lots of potential here. I just say, like, people are buying this name all the way up here. This is just, it's getting to be very, very FOMO-esque here, obviously, on NVIDIA when you're seeing days like this. There's a lot of traders, I assume, that aren't in, that want to get in, but you can't tell me that you're starting a position or adding to a position up here at 730. That just seems a little bit far-fetched for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at a 20-minute chart here. I'm going to trade NVIDIA today. I mean, it was such a, I think we did amazing on, it was a couple days last week. I can't remember if it was Wednesday. We took Thursday off, but anyways, Friday was really good. What about just a dip into this 715 area? Like we're up 0.73. If NVIDIA gives back $5 or $6, then you're at 720. It could do that instantly off the open, right? And then a little bit of a weak market puts us into this area where I feel like we may have a little bit of a shelf. So I'm just going to be patient with NVIDIA all the way up here. I'll look at Intel and AMD as the day goes on, but I do like NVIDIA, and the amount of money that is available in this name is disgusting. So we'll just be able to sit there and trade it, and it's just a great name to trade if you're looking for some momentum. And on a day where I feel like the market is sleeping a little bit now, you want to play momentum names. NVIDIA's almost on 1 million shares on a $700 name. So there's lots of excitement here. We'll trade NVIDIA, but I'm long 715.
All right, let's go on to Tesla here. Downside as well, 0.6 right now in negative territory. It did get back to positive on Friday and then some to end the day. There was a couple of things. I was just reading this note that Elon was mysteriously absent from the Super Bowl, both on the ad front and in person, asking this morning, were there any half-decent ads? Which I thought was kind of interesting, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, this was the Model Y price cut alert. EV Giant temporarily trimming the price of its bestseller. This is something that, as we were saying before, we haven't seen. When they do typically cut prices, it's for an undetermined amount of time. Doesn't mean they're not going to go back up, but this is the first time I've seen that. Not that it matters, but it's the first time I've seen that temporary.
Yeah, he took to Twitter, Brendo, to explain the price cut here because he knew that there were going to be rumors about why he was initiating a price cut. He says, here's what he says. Since most people don't love to buy cars in the middle of winter, Tesla is offering $1,000 incentive to do so. He goes on to say, while factories need continuous production for efficiency, consumer demand is seasonal. Musk goes, and he adds that this is the essential quandary in manufacturing, whether to keep production consistent in the face of weaker demand for the purpose of efficiency or whether to cut. So we'll have to wait and see. They're offering $1,000 on the Model Y rear-wheel drive standard range version, Brendo. So
yeah, I was just reading on the lease side of things. It also reduces the potential down payment to as little as $2,000 as well, which kind of opens the door to probably a lot more potential buyers. Anyways, rear-wheel drive version now as low as $3,549.
Take that.
For a Model Y in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, look, this conversation actually came up when I was talking with my neighbors at the game. Well, not at the game, but we're watching the game last night. It was EV demand. It was EV in prices in particular. So you know that they're going to still have to continue to come down and make deals, but at this point, things haven't gotten out of the penalty box just yet. The good news for Tesla is that 175 double bottom and how it's essentially just not trading. Like it just wouldn't trade down there. Like how quickly it would bounce off that 75 level. Like you're talking about spending a few minutes down there and then just running away from it and then continuing higher. The bad news would be since the gap down, you have the earnings gap and you have not cleared the top, which is a 196. So until it clears 196, that's pretty big resistance. I think we have a chance of testing that today, although that seemed a little bit more likely when I sat down, and then Tesla decided to drop like $2 or $3. So maybe we don't get to 196, whatever. Like when I sat down and started going over things, this was like just underneath 195 bucks. So when I was writing down short area 95 to 96, short zone, it seemed like something that was gonna have a chance to hit at 930. I ended up leaving it out of the note because the price level is less likely to come into play, whereas I think Rivian, that's more likely to be a trade off of the open than Tesla. But yeah, that 196 stands out. 190, maybe you can catch a little bit of a dip there. There was some support there last week. But that earnings gap is going to be a theme today. You have key levels for Amazon after breaking out of its earnings gap. You've got Google trying to close the last bit of its gap. Tesla finding resistance at that earnings gap, and that's at 196. I'm a shorter there, but we're at 92s. I doubt that's going to happen unless you get one of those huge runs right away at 930. I feel like Rivian probably comes to me first.
Yeah, Rivian comes in first, but I think this 196 could happen. I mean, it's only $3, $4 from here. So for me, it's the same look. I just want to go short up here, 195, 196. I'm going to turn this around because I'm getting a bearish feel in the market now. So I'm going to turn this guy over into a bear right now. And so I'm getting a little bit, we're underneath VWAP, we're underneath the 50-period moving average. And honestly, Tesla's had a lot of fire, in the name. Right now, I don't care about Super Bowl. If Elon was there or not, I'd rather him not be there. There we go. So there we go. We'll go a little bearish. Yeah, man, this guy's a lot to work on. So let's get Tesla moving in the right direction. I still like the name. I like the name for a long. We've talked about where to buy it. I think you could buy it here. I think you could buy it at 180. I think you could buy it at 160. I mean, I don't know. A lot of the time when there's so much negativity around a name, it means that you got to buy it. So we'll have to watch out for Tesla. But again, if you don't like the name, stay out of it. But this one definitely on some good news on the Model 2 on this rear wheel drive right now. More stories coming from Tesla. I like them, but I think it's a short, in and around this 196 area. You can see it was the bottom back in October, and then it's basically been the top here as it tries to get this garbage out of here from earnings. So I really like it, man. I think this is a screaming buy. If I'm going to dream for anything, it's tomorrow I come in and Tesla's at 198, 199, and then we can smash the living out of this thing as it breaks through 200, and then we'll just once again set some records around here.
All right, Snapchat not really doing a heck of a lot this morning, but worth a note, it is higher on the pre-market session so far. They're going to buy back a whole bunch of debt after that absolute disaster of an earnings report last week. The stock did absolutely nothing since the earnings came out. So maybe an attempt at changing that today.
Yeah, trying to appease some of the debt holders here, Brendo. It's supposed to be scheduled for Valentine's Day, February 14th. That's when the senior convertible note worth about $100 million. Some of that's at 25 basis points worth of interest. Some of that's at 75 basis points. Both are going to be due in 2025 and 2026.
You and I were just noting there's still an 18 billion market cap on this thing, and trying to reduce the debt load here, guys, for Snap today.
What you got to do, man. And the other point is to sort of add to something that was a bit of it wasn't a theme. It was just a discussion on the podcast about using AI for efficiency and Amazon search, which I think is a great topic because it's like not just how are we using AI as consumers, but how are the big companies using AI to get more efficient? Well, one of Snapchat's problems is they are not the best at directing ads for their clients and to specifically to customers. And you see that play out. Like Meta is fantastic at it. Snapchat is very mediocre at it. And that limits the types of customers that they're able to get, because a big company can be like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't really, we'll just get out to everybody because everyone uses our products. But when you have smaller companies, you need more targeted experience, which is something that Meta can do fantastically and Snapchat doesn't do as well. I'm saying that as we look at the absolute demolishment that they got on earnings. The good news, however, is when you get an earnings gap down like this, the first thing I look for before is, do you make a bottom? And on Thursday, you made a double bottom, and on Friday, you then supported that bottom. Well, not you guys, but whomever was buying at 1090, that double bottomed. So I think that's the level to start working off of. It's showing you a low, The earnings gap is quite large because you can get to like 1230 at 1230 to 1250 before even trying to make a breakout. So if you get 11s, again, there's plenty of room for it to rally. I just think at this point, that's a support level. It's tradable down there. 1090s double bottomed in 2 ways, both on a double bottom that day, Thursday, and then again, same low on Friday. It's trading at 28, so you got to be patient to maybe buy a dip and find a low in front of that number, but that's what I'd be looking for here in Snapchat. It's calmed down, you've got a few days after earnings, and it's made support level at that 1090.
Yeah, for me, I just put out the sticky note right now. You guys can go find it. I know there's a lot of people asking. It is finally out. It's right here. We have Snapchat on here in the top right, 1150 long. I like this debt restructuring talk here. It's already up. It's up way more than, not way more, but it's up more than pretty much anything we've been looking at here. I got to clean that up. But I really like this 1150 break. So we had that top. Let's look at it at a 20-minute chart. Just looks a little bit smoother than this. There's 1150. It's like that top right there that we tried to get to on Thursday, and then we basically hit it and failed. So let's see if we can hit it and quit it again here at 1150. So hopefully it bounces into that area. I already have a stop order to go long through there. So it's a triggered long order through 1150. So that's that. I like it. I think it's been beat up enough. Let's see if it can restructure a bit, get going. I like Snapchat down here in and around 1150. If we can play dips, we'll play dips, but I'm not looking at that early. I want to see a momentum break through 1150, and we'll take it, and then we'll probably hold it like 10 or 15 cents. I don't want to give this one too much room because I'm not sure how far this goes. So I'll clean this wick up, but I like Snapchat at 1150. It's on the sticky note.
Let's go to Rivian here. More downside action, more negativity coming from analysts this morning, specifically Barclays, downgrading the stock, cutting their price target as well significantly, all the way to 16 from 25. I'm just going to bring up the chart here to show you this level, which is 15.25. So we're obviously well above 16 at this point. So possibly a base here. We'll see if it can hold today.
Yeah, a tough look here, Brendo. After this one gained about 7% last week, still down though 33% on the year. Analyst Dan Levy at Barclays reducing his price target again, and also removing it from overweight to equal weight. This is the second time this year he's actually reduced his price target. He dropped it from 27 to 25 back in January, but in November, Brendo, this was the only one that he actually had on his buy list in EV land. So changing his tune on this quite a bit.
Yeah, remember that model, what is it? The R2 is coming up. The debut is coming up first week of March in a couple of weeks, or second week of March. I'll double check on that. But something to look forward to, hopefully, for Rivian. It's been a tough year, though, as you mentioned, for these both Tesla and Rivian.
Well, they need something to look forward to, that's for sure. I mean, it feels as if, like right now, the Chiefs are going to Disney World or whatever it is the champions do, and you essentially are going to have San Francisco going to the Lynx, where all the playoff teams or all the teams that have lost, like my Bills, have already been out there playing golf. Well, the EV space has been playing golf and sitting this one out for quite some time. Like their season ended a long time ago when this bull rallied. There's no question about it. So you're right on big, massive support, chilling out on the lows on Rivian, where it tried to break out last week and failed 17. So I was looking here saying, hey, this thing can break out 17. It's got room. The 50 and the 200 are at 19. That's over 10% that it could go. It's always a squeeze type name when it gets going. But there's your rejection. Even if it didn't have a downgrade, you reject that 17 level and gap underneath, I'd be looking short to the previous low, even if it didn't have the downgrade. As long as there was any kind of volume on that kind of a fail break, I go into previous support, which was literally Friday's support level at the 16.3, call it into 16.35, and I want to be shorting back into that level. And if it breaks that level and it gets to the highs, then I'd wait for it to get to those highs, or maybe even the previous close. But that's the look for me on Rivian. Already down 5% today. Penalty box. You're still in the penalty box with these EV names. It's that simple. So you find one, and Tesla's a little bit of a different category here. It's not as bad as this. But you find one of these, whether it's Rivian, Lucid, Polestar. There were a couple of decent EV ads, actually, that were shown. But anyways, I just think short the pops here.
I'd actually rather see less ads. I mean, these guys aren't making any money. Like every time they sell a car, they lose money. So I'd rather them sell less cars. Right here, Rivian, $16.30 as a short. It's the #1 name there on the sticky note. So if we get anywhere near $16.30, we like it. And I said here, we may have to take out $16. Obviously, when we wrote this, we were above $16, and now we are below it. So I think Rivian is unfortunately not a buy. I'm not even sure it's a buy down here at 15. But again, depends what you think, honestly, about the greater market. I feel like people are going to sell off losing trades, right? And Rivian's been pretty horrible. Anybody that's been trying to buy these dips have been happy if you bought it at 14 or 15, but all the way down, it didn't really give too much relief. We finally thought that there was some FOMO in the name the last couple of days as we went above the $16 area, and it looked like it wanted to take out right there 17. But the fact that it didn't, I mean, when I heard today, I came in, I was getting a coffee, and Adair and Sharif were like, I was like, what's good? And they're like, Rivian, and I thought maybe it got an upgrade today. Because I was like, okay, good, because then it's going to start going back. I'm not in this name, but back up there to the upside. But unfortunately, it was the other way around. So you're just going to keep playing the shorts. I'm already sitting here. It's my #1 trade idea. It's in between 16 and 16.30. Let's see what happens. It's not a smash short for me, but it's definitely a wait and see. If we get up to the upside, we have to be short Rivian today. And if I'm not, there's really no excuse, especially if it gets near that 16.20, 16.30 area. So my offers are in right now. So hopefully we'll get that fill. Hopefully we'll get Snapchat long through 11.50 and Rivian short here at 16.30. So those are two trades that I'm pretty excited about right now.
One of many headliners as far as earnings to come this week is Shopify going to report, I think it was this day, if you zoom out a little bit, Thursday, I guess it was, they announced some price increases for some of their products. Was very strong all week last week. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row now, straight higher. So 1.7, very strong for Shopify going into their report.
Yeah, Truist liking this to the tune of $90 a share, but maintaining their weighting right now at hold. The research conducted by Truist and Delta Sciences, is suggesting that Shopify is poised to report significant fourth quarter gross merchandise volume growth, Brendo. So that's in the run up there being bought up.
Man, I was just noting, $45, was it? $50, I guess, in November of 2023.
Yeah, it's so the only problem with Shopify here is, as I look at it, Shopify.ny, of course, is the fact that, I mean, I don't know if PE ever really matters or anything like that. Apparently it doesn't. But its PE right now is 84. So this is just on the Benzinga platform right here, an 84 PE right now. So it's not, it's definitely expensive at these levels. But at the same time, it's really working, as you guys keep mentioning. I mean, that 3 or 4 or 5 days in a row there from that $80 all the way up to 93, 94. And I don't want to get in the way of this. So Shopify does report. Here it is right here. It reports on the 13th. So tomorrow, pre-market. So we only have 1 more day left in Shopify, and then it's here. So I would say a short float doesn't scare me of just 2%. I've kind of been wrong on this name. I remember selling some, we talked about it here into $75, $80 as it was popping around there, but then it just kept going and kept going and kept going. So yeah, very, very aggressive name. I actually think we probably sold some in and around here, 70 to 72, just probably in here. About a month of nothing but love for Shopify. So let's see if it continues to blow it out. It's nowhere near its highs, but it was a pandemic darling. So I still say you stay long with this name and see what happens on earnings. But up 2%. Again, I'm pretty bearish today, to be honest with you. I want to be patient. I'm patiently bearish. So we'll see if the market wants to reward that thought. But for right now, I don't want to buy Shopify. And if anything, there's a 93 level. That's not looking horrible. But again, ahead of earnings, I really feel like some of these names have just gotten blasted so much. Like when Meta can go up 30%, Shopify at a small market cap of just $111 billion could probably go. Meta put 2 Shopifys on their books on their report. So let's see if Shopify continues to go up. Strong ads could mean better for Shopify customers.
Yeah, and I question, like in this earnings season, you're definitely seeing a little bit of do earnings matter so much as straight revenue? I just even saw that in the chat. I don't disagree. Like, this is a case where if the revenue growth is enough, you can get rewarded for just that alone. All that said, because if they had done this, if this same setup that I'm looking at on Shopify, this was a gap up after earnings, and let's say the numbers were good, then I'd be looking for a breakout. But because we haven't even got them yet, I just see, okay, well, you have a bit of a double top, some sympathy rally into all the names that were running last week. Let's see it actually hold that going just for today. Let's see it actually hold on to this 90 to 91 area that got put on Friday. And that's what I had in my notes. Just like it's got to hold on to this. So it's got to be a dip, buy, or bust. I'm not taking a breakout pre-earnings on this. I'd be a little bit concerned to do that. I'm not full-on bullish or bearish today. I think this is one of those markets where I just want to look for a trend in the strong names, not try to fight it. So if we get some good dip buys, great, and then find the weak names that I would go short anyways, like the RIVNs of the world, and then play it in that direction. So I think Shopify for me is going to have to be, if we get a chance at a dip buy off 90 and it shows me you can find support in that area, good. If it doesn't, then I'm okay with sitting the trade out on Shopify.
ARM is popping a little bit here. It just got up from 116, 117, just popped through 120. ARM, again, another name that is well traded around here and should be again today. I mean, ARM right now is breaking solidly above. I was going to talk about this and then it started popping, so there must be some kind of news here with ARM. But again, it's right there. Breaking through this 118 was going to be something that I was literally just going to talk about it, and there it is. So it's a nice little pop through for ARM. I don't know what the story is there, as more traders are getting excited to buy up ARM holdings. So that's going to make me just quickly look at everything else. So AMD is still here. I've chosen, I guess, aggression today, and we're going to go with NVIDIA. So if this can dip in, I don't think it's going to. But we're going to do patience, but then on an aggressive name. So if we can get a dip in, I mean, right now it's even looking like 725 may want to hold. So that's not a dip. Like, that's what, down 75 cents from here? No. So we're going to wait to see what happens with NVIDIA. Like I said, futures underneath, VWAP underneath, 50 period. We're underneath here right now. I'm hoping for a dip on NVIDIA, and then we've already looked at where we thought this could be into here. See this little base that we kind of made in and around 715. Now, it wasn't much of one, but that's where I want to give it a shot. And then even if we just go a little bit higher than that, 718, 719, like that could come like really, like that could be right off the jump. So we'll watch out for that. Another stock that I'm going to be watching out for off the start is going to be our friend Amazon, because this is another one that is really starting to break out. I mean, what a great move off this 160. Held 170 right there, and now it's like looking primed to continue. So I'm really excited to punch this long as well, thinking 175. The problem is, like I said, I'm a little bit bearish right now on the market. But here we go. We're starting to tick upside a little bit. What is that ES doing? So the ES is flat as well. So we'll look at those names. I'm excited to look at. I'm just waiting because the imbalances are coming out soon at 928. I'm also looking for some Affirm shorts. So I'll put a short here at 45 in case we get popped upside. I wrote down on the sticky note that the worst case scenario would be a 46 trade. So we'll take a 45. We'll take small, and then if it seems like it wants to hold, then we'll take bigger. Then we'll use 45 as our out. But we don't want to get run over as it's going back up to the upside there with Affirm. Okay, and I'll throw it over to Neil in a second. Let's just see here. UCAR, Palantir. It seems like there's some selling in Palantir. I don't want to sell it yet, but there is some interest in that. IBIT, the best Bitcoin name for liquidity as far as I could find. That name's a nice upside move. Neil and I will look at Bitcoin. We do have it on the platform.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we have to spot Bitcoin now. We can trade on the platform, but the really good volumes in those ETFs. If you're going to trade those, I think they've been absolutely fine for anyone looking at crypto. I'll just say, I have 46 on my note this morning when I sent it out for Affirm. I just feel like you've gotten some levels put in, and it just comes down to the lower high. It's just a lower high from Friday. If it breaks out, there's still that 50. That chip move to the upside, when you said ARM was going, it's worth noting that SMCI, because I see everyone in the chat mentioning SMCI. Yes, again, SMCI is making new highs. So you're seeing the entire group start to head up there. Oh, this didn't actually hold above the pre-market high. So this is looking like a bit of a breakout. I'm preferring NVIDIA and Intel today myself, but this is certainly one that you can bear watching. And the Amazon 175, I think, is going to come into play pretty much right at the open. Alphabet is pulling back in, so it does feel like it wants to get to its afternoon support down around the 148. I'm talking about Friday. I guess it was early, like late morning support at 148 on Google, but it's going to have to hold that. Google looking weak relative to the other names here. And I guess I'm already smelling what Shree's eating, so I'm glad you're eating something because, you know, after eating absolutely nothing during the Super Bowl, you know, clearly you've got to rectify that. Who doesn't eat any food during the Super Bowl? Anyway,
he wasn't awake, he said. That's why he didn't.
He watched the game in 4, 3, 2, 1, and ring it. I know he watched some of the game. 175 Amazon is probably going to break almost any second now. It's not. It's we got to 80s there, but it hasn't broken. I think that's going to happen pretty quick.
Okay, yeah, I'm not in anything yet either. We're waiting for NVIDIA here. Everything's opened up now if you're on the NASDAQ. So, yeah, again, guys, thanks for watching. Here we go. NVIDIA down to 724. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're still looking at that name. I was actually looking at Disney here because another name that was looking pretty juicy off the jump again. Nice move up. I was looking for some levels to possibly punch through on Disney, and I feel like this 109 is something there on Disney. So let's get Disney through this little level there before we get too excited. 109.15 or so on Disney. We're gonna have a look at that. It's $1 away right now, so that's not hitting. Snapchat's getting excited about itself here again as it's trying to get through this 11.50. Let's watch out for Snapchat. I'm going long if it breaks 11.50. So here we go, man. We've called the long on Snapchat. We missed 25 cents straight up, but I still do want to take this. It's Snapchat looking at that 11.50.
Yeah, so having to be patient. Amazon pulled back off 175. It got really close. I actually see a 95 print, believe it or not. So it got really tight to it. Intel is breaking out, not giving dip buy into 43. It's actually going higher with some of the chip space. So I guess we're going to have to be a little bit patient with these names. What's weird about it is Intel's going up. I look over, okay, well, what's NVIDIA doing? Maybe they're breaking out. No, NVIDIA's pulling back. So those teens that we're looking for, yeah, that could actually come into play here with this chip name. Right down into like the 15, 16 area, I'd be looking for a dip buy. RIVN, let's be patient. It's still hanging out at 16. It's trying to get upside into that 1630 area. So that could be a bit of a move as well. So again, pack your patience. If nothing sets up for the fills that you want, you don't have to take it. No Amazon break, no gusto for me yet.
All right. It's funny about Snapchat. It just went right to 11.50, which is our level, and it did not break. So we're getting really close to that right now. I hear Sharif talking about ARM, so we'll look at. Yeah, we had talked about ARM in the pre-market there, and I wanted to, honestly. I mean, you guys heard me say that, punch that top there at 118. But the thing is, it really got going really early and hasn't really stopped. So we'll have to wait for a pullback. I am excited about Snapchat coming back into 11.30, possibly, and watching out for an 11.25 break if that does happen. And then again, the other stock that we talked about really early, as the market goes down, all these long ideas that we had were cash, but not believing in them, right? I mean, then look at Disney. We talked about wanting to get Disney long. It just shot up $1.50 right here off the jumps. Market going downside, Disney going upside right now. So Disney and ARM really starting to take out some levels,
Intel's
right? Yeah, NVIDIA's flying as well, man. NVIDIA doesn't get as low as we'd hoped. I'm bidding 716 ahead of that 715 that I thought could be something. We get as low as 722, and if you're saying Intel's flying, man, I mean, maybe I have to go over and switch up into a long here. I don't have any positions yet, but there we go. We just got something. What was that? Snap? No, Disney. Okay, so there's Disney. That's strange. I don't know why we got that break there. How high up did it go? I was supposed to get 109.15 or something, but it looks like we just got that price right there. So that's strange. But all right, we're long Disney now. Just a small position as we've already taken out this top. We were going to wait for a little bit longer, but so far, one position in for me. It's Disney right here at 109. I got to give this one a little bit of room because of where it came from. So here we go. Disney to 109. We'll see about a pullback to load up some more.
So I just got into not what I thought was going to be the first thing, but it ends up being Shop because Shopify does pull back into the 90 area. I mean, it doesn't quite get there. Oh, give me 75. Gimme always gets. There we go. So whoops, don't want to get up there twice. So Shopify pulls into the 90 area, bounces off 920. On the way back, paid a quarter in slippage up there, which is always fun because I couldn't get the absolute bottom, but it just pushed back into the 91s. So already a dip buy. I didn't think it would be Shopify. Like I said, I thought we'd be getting some Intel or something else. Amazon with the break. I'm going to get over to that as well. So the 175 break has happened on Amazon. Already some immediate sellers at the 30 area. So the initial break, I'm going to take some out, scalp that for the win. So Amazon, we thought that would happen right at the open. Instead, Amazon decided to wait a couple minutes before breaking out the top. So now we're into Amazon long. NVIDIA's gone, 731 on NVIDIA at this point. So I don't know if we're going to get a shot at that one. And Rivian's starting to get close to the short level at 1630.
Okay, so we're short Rivian, long Disney, long Amazon. I mean, we're in all these as well. So let's just give this a second to breathe a little bit here on Amazon. You know, we'd hate to be wrong, but we'd also like to be right. So let's wait. 174.80 here, possibly that bottom for Amazon. We are short Rivian. We just talked about that. Here's Amazon right now, as now it's coming back in just a little bit. So let's watch out for that 174.80 spot coming in right now on Amazon, but it looks like it doesn't want to care about that and just continue to go back up the upside. If we're wrong, we'll be wrong on this and get the heck out of Dodge if it breaks through 175, 174.50. It looks like Disney's going to be the one for me, as this is just an absolute monster of a long for me right now. Disney's really holding weight now. We're long at 109.20 off of multiple buys there right now. So Rivian is starting to go to the upside, which is looking not nice. So we'll wait to see what happens with Rivian. That upgrade might not have, or downgrade, sorry, doesn't look like it's hitting the name so strong yet. Short Rivian, what's up, Adara?
Yeah, keep an eye on Robinhood. Hood here, up about 3%. Lots of movement on this one, so fairly volatile. Not seeing any news on this. It is apparently trending on Wall Street Bets right now, and it reports after close tomorrow. So you can keep an eye on HOOD moving around a lot this morning.
I got it.
Not gonna lie, that's one I did not. I didn't note that one for earnings this week, and that's the best thing about earnings season is there's always names that you don't look at on a regular basis that are going to come into play. But I'll get there in a quick second. Amazon's starting to go. I'm getting another leg out. If it resists this 30 again, I'll probably scalp the same amount after a reload. But Rivian is getting really close into that 1635 area. So I got in at the quarters first. I'm not adding until I see the other side of the trade, which now you're seeing the other side of the trade here on Rivian. Just pop back about 5 to 10 cents. I want this back in the 16 range. I think we can get there. But the market, the NASDAQ bounced off 18,000 right there at the open. That is worth mentioning.
Oh, man. This is a good day, guys. One more time here. Rivian, good outs, but we needed to go a little further. The biggest stock here for me is going to be Disney. It looks like Amazon, we should have left that one a little bit alone. We did get some out on the high side, but here we are averaging back into it, and we're going to get out. I have too many, like, I can't hold this all the way back down, because then the next thing you know, one bad trade, there it is. So we'll fail on Amazon. My bad on that one for sure, as there goes Amazon back down through 1.7. And again, like I said, you have less shares or your plan is different to hold it, fine. Everybody's equal, but I'm going to get out there on that break lower.
Yeah, your stop should be your stop. That's the thing. Like Amazon.
Yeah. And
remember, there was a seller at 175.30, not 17.30. 175.30 had a clear seller. That's why I mentioned it a couple of times. So on those dip buys, like cover some at the quarters to the 30s, but once that happens twice, I'm out. Like the second it can't hold that. The breakout is very different from another style of trade, like dip buying or whatever other setup you might be doing. Rivian, I'm trying to get some out in the teens. I'm giving it 13 pennies. I want to make sure it gets to the 1-to-1 before I start taking it out on that setup. Shopify is even starting to pull back. We got that first push. It got just in front of the 91 level, and then right back in. If it can hold again, it just broke the local bottom. I was about to say, if it could hold this level at 90.20 again, I'd reload off that level, but it does not hold it, so we get profit. No chance of the reload. And this one, we're just going to adhere to the stop. Make sure that we don't throw away the game we had earlier. So it's right now just Rivian. This dip might give us a chance to get into one of the chip names, however, although Intel doesn't seem to want to dip.
Oh man, we are just like Amazon can go directly to hell, but everything else, I mean, this Disney trade is like on one for me, which is great. Rivian's not really doing too much. We just got some nice pieces out at the 200 there, but for right now, we're just gonna have to, I mean, we are really resting on Disney. Disney is really going here. Like, this is going to be a good one, as it looks like it wants to continue upside here on Disney. So I'm gonna put another offer here at 70, and why the heck not? This is a big one for me right now. Look at Amazon, we did get back into it. Let's see if we get a piece out now at 175 on the high side for Amazon, and wind up making a little bit back. We just bought some more at the end, at the low of the day there, into the pre-market. But we were a little bit off on that Amazon buy, needless to say. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, this one's an interesting one here. QBTS, this is, the company is D-Wave Quantum, up about 22%. This is a small cap, but the market cap is actually 175 million, so not insignificant. Announcing late last week, that they've partnered with Zapata AI on a quantum-enabled machine learning computer. So interesting look here for QBTS, guys.
And that BMR, I'm going to get there in a quick second. That BMR is going absolutely ham. Intel's now checking up at 44. So it could be a 44 break, but I still want the dip buy. I'm just going to have to adjust where we want it. We're not going to get 43. Ignore the wick. Previous high was right at that 43.50. So I want to be buying back into that level on Intel. Rivian just took out resistance. So in, quarters, out when it takes out that resistance level. Now just look for the other side. If it's going to be a push up like this, don't want to be fighting it. Going to wait for it to either get to previous close or fail back underneath that 30 level, and then I can just jump into the trade. If I still like it, I can always jump right back in to that short. But getting on the chip party has got to be one of the priorities here if they're going to continue to rally. But there are some small caps going, as was just mentioned. That BMR has cracked the 7. It got all the way to 850 and pulled back. It's pulled back. That's like a 15% pullback. The stock's up 200 and something %. But if it can hold this 7 level for a bit, that would be a nice little jump off where you could at least have reasonable risk to reward on that stock.
We're doing it here. The only one we're not doing it on right now is Rivian. And unfortunately, guys, everybody asking about BMR and stuff like that, if you saw my positions, you wouldn't be looking over there. But right now, we will look at BMR, and maybe Adara has some news about something else.
Yeah, I have another small cap getting a really nice recovery here. This one now halted, though, just halted here. MGIH, that's Millennium Group International. The filing on Friday revealed that the YC 1926 Limited has reported an almost 89% stake in the company. This one has a 1.25 million share float, so keep an eye on MGIH should you be involved, guys.
All right.
On Intel.
Just the only position that's in. Oh yeah, by the way, we just wind up making pretty much like we bought a 174.25s there at 174.90 right there. So we bought some back on Amazon to watch out to see if that one wants to work out. But it's this that's the problem, and it's going to be Rivian, right? So this one continues to go up to the upside. I guess it wasn't as bad news as we thought on that Barclays downgrade. So
comes a firm.
There it is. Yeah, I am short a firm as well, and that's just another one of these names that we're gonna have to sit in for a minute. So we're short a firm right now. I'm gonna have to look at ARM and a few different things, but for right now, this is what I'm in. Disney's really my big one here, but other than that, so far, meh. Here goes a firm. We're going to watch out for 46. Thank you, Mr. Rob, for that one. So 46 coming in on a firm. That's something that we're going to look for. But we're short right now. It's Snapchat. That's really been a nice one, man. We talked about this at 11.50, so hopefully you have that as well. But it's Disney, Snapchat. The only problem we have right now is Rivian. We're not really into a firm yet. It's 46 is what we're looking at.
Oh, so 44 just broke on Intel. I actually just hit threes. That's more slippage than you usually see on that stock. But I did reload into, not reload because I was out of it, and then back in on Shopify. The 90 level holds the second time. So first time we get a bounce, take about 50 pennies, then stop out underneath the low. This time it bounces higher low off the 90 level. So right back to that 90 level here on Shopify, and we'll ring the register up top on that, and then I'll get to Intel in a quick second. I want to see if it gets to 91 on Shopify. I need to take profits once again. So it'll be just shy of that dollar level that I want to make sure I'm grabbing profits. Intel with the 44 breakout. We wanted to dip buy in Intel. Intel didn't want it. We didn't want to give it to you. So at this point, it's a stair step upside, up almost 2% on the day. They're absolutely flying. the chips are all, I mean, most of the chips are strong. NVIDIA is up 1% on its own. But it wants to continue going. I think this is one that can be a bit of a hold. And then generally speaking, when it trends like this, the obvious $half levels are the ways to hold to. You just hold to like the 44, 50 almost every time. It's already resistant since it's earnings flush anyway. So 44.5, 45, those are the target zones. So shop working again, and then Intel, the new position for me. And I'm not short of firm yet, but believe me, if it gets to closer to that 46 level, I'm in.
All right, yeah, same. We're just in. Again, everybody's going to be different. We're in small amount of shares, but we do want to get some more up here at 46. So hopefully that will come through very, very soon. Rivian started to think about going down. I mean, we're only short here at 31s. I don't know. Like I have a bid at 30 to try to take some pressure off there. I don't, that might not be the one that hits for us today, man. Rivian, like I was not expecting this. So we're going to get out if it breaks this high upside if that does happen. But, one name that really is working out for us, of course, is going to be Snapchat, as that's now in the 60s, man. So this is going to be a good one. We talked about it. Take small hit if this does happen. It was listed right here on the sticky note. We talked about Snapchat. Get out if it breaks, right? And so right now there, we're upside. We took 11.50. This was a 10 cent. We did the same trade, I think, on Friday, where we took a small winner against a small loser. So right there, we're going to try to hold this back until about 11.40. That's why we're taking some profit here at a 1-to-1. That's that trade. Other than that, man, Disney, we've just been getting some out. Our best outs were here in the 70s at 109. So that was a good one. We still have Rivian coming through as well. And then I was just looking at, Rivian's not coming through. I need it to come through. We also do have Palantir, which just hit this 24.50 area. That was close, man. Like I'm really thinking about a short here on Rivian, on Palantir against some of these 50s. I was looking at this earlier, but we did have a nice move up. So it should have maybe faded that the first time we were up there. I'm not sure the second time whether or not it holds or not. And you can see here with the 20-minute chart, we hit, that's the 50-period moving average. So it did come into that area again with a high side in and around 25 for Palantir. So we're going to have to wait on it. And I'm just going to get some more out on Snapchat because we have an oversized position on Snapchat breaking through 11.50. I mean, if we could take 15 cents on that one, then that is what we'll do. Disney's now trying to get back upside, and Rivian's just holding fort, man, at 16.40. And Affirm is doing nothing. So we're going to have to wait on all that. The only loser that we've taken so far here today is Amazon.
Yeah, I just got into Affirm on that last curl. So it got to 45.50, I think, like the 50 level. But that previous, it's a lower high from Friday where I like it, and that was 45.70. So if you look at it, 45.50 is this like little midpoint on that Friday morning lower high. Second it got there, look for the curl. It topped out pretty much exactly in the middle of that range from Friday. And so I'm into it at these quarters. Gonna give this one to the local top and then take, if it's underneath 46, I'd probably take multiple shots at it. But I have to go back over to Shopify, just retested the low. Bounced off of VWAP. I didn't get that fill in front of 80s. I got the fill at 50s, did not get the fill in front of 80s. So if it can make another higher low, going to get some out in front of VWAP here. I want to respect this is a trend down that is bouncing in my area and working, but it is still a trend down. So you can make money going against the trend, but you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. And just going over to a name that we have not mentioned, Tesla just made a left turn and dropped $2. You know what that usually means for me. I was already stopped at a Rivian once, but it's back underneath that 1635 zone. So I'm jumping right back into that name when I see this.
Oh, man. Yeah, we are, Rivian could be the biggest winner here today. Just waiting for this to come through right now. The biggest winner for me anyways is going to be Disney. Disney's an absolute monster for me, and I'm just going to keep on trying to hold on to this. I do have, there we go. I was going to say, I have some 62s. Now that we're to the upside, we are going to start to drop a little bit of this name, though, as Disney's going. So it's a P&L chase for me today. Here's Snapchat. Again, started just to moon here on Snap, so we really like that trade so far here today. We don't have any problems right now. The only thing that I'm excited for is this Rivian move down. So let's see if it can happen. I told you we had some bids here at 30, so that's what we did. We actually had a bid at 27 where it stopped, but I'm going to stay patient as well and see if we can't get that 27. I'm not just, there it is. Spin it. Right here, man, we've got some top names coming through right now for us. RIVN, the short, like again, what's up, Nas? As it was written right here, RIVN short, we have it. Boom. Get the hell down right now. That's what we're talking about. So far, so good on the sticky note, man. We've got RIVN there. We've got Snapchat long 1150. I mean, whatever. We have basically that break, and now Snapchat's at the high of the day. So let's not forget about getting something out. And let's just wait for RIVN. We got a 23 or a 22 or something fill there on the low side for RIVN. So far, so good on that one. It's Affirm's getting up there, but I'm not worried about it. We're waiting for much higher than that. Let's just rest up here and see if RIVN will get to the downside here, breaking hopefully below this 16 level. And if it does that, man, then whatever, we'll be happier than we are at this moment. That's for sure.
Exactly, and you're going to see me. I'm out of Shopify, but I'm about to get filled in. I think I'm about to get filled in Intel here off the 44 level. We do still want this one at the quarters more, and then 44.5. If the trend holds in the overall market to the downside, probably Intel goes with it. But I see a stair step up, and this is a chance to get the dip buy in front of the 44 level. I re-entered RIVN. Once it broke past my stop zone, I got out of it. And then Shopify could not hold that low, so I'm going to make sure we have our stop at the bottom, and if it gets taken out, it gets taken out. It's holding 90s again, so I can always re-enter the trade. But we're out of Shopify for the time being. Just watch out for these chips, because NVIDIA just took out its low and could go red any second now. So in the back of my mind, got to respect the fact that even though Intel is looking strong and holding this VWAP, holding that 44, NVIDIA just took out the low of the day and is trending back in the other direction. Still relative strength in Intel, which is perfectly fine. You want to be long relatively strong stocks if you can, and this at least fits the bill.
I think we're going to Adara, but look at Snapchat, man. Just 11, we're not? Look at this Snapchat at 1150, guys. Like, honestly, this trade right here is the day maker. I mean, there's really nothing else to talk about for me right now. This Snapchat, we liked it. We talked about it here at 1150, written on here. So that's going to be a good one. We're waiting for Affirm to try to fall back in, but Snapchat at 1178 right now. I mean, this is a big one, man, and you can hit Snapchat obviously with a lot of shares. So congratulations anybody that did that one. Affirm is getting close now to me saying, all right, let's figure out what we're gonna do. So here comes Affirm making that move back upside. It looks like we'll be wrong. Okay, it looks like we'll be wrong on Affirm as we are now short at 45.66. It's not a horrible price, but obviously the stock not reacting short like I thought. So watch out for a 40. I have to make sure I have the stop in here. A 46 break on Affirm, and we'll give back some of the damage, obviously, that we've done today. Looks like we'll take about a 40-cent hit here on Affirm, which is completely fine, but still not one that I'm enjoying taking here. What's up with Adara now?
Yeah, another interesting one moving around today. Intuitive Solutions, LUNR. This one last week had a little bit of news, completed its milestones, preparing for a mission. It does landing related things, but right now up 32.5%, no news, float of about 17.8 million shares. So just some interesting one to keep an eye on here if you are involved. LUNR, no catalyst that I can find for today, guys.
To the moon, that stock is going. That's the catalyst. You know, that was low-hanging fruit. I jumped out of Affirm, you know my style, in there and then out when it breaks a local high. And then the 46 level, wait till it gets to that level, put on another trade at that particular price. I'd probably take 3 swings and a miss, especially if we get the same levels back and forth. But this is certainly up 5% and continuing to go. It seems like it wants to break this out. If it cannot hold on to the pre-market tops, then I got to jump out of that. We got out of Intel. It actually did not fill the bid. This is not a short, by the way. I had to take profit out. So that one coded a short, but that's me selling at the high of the day on Intel. 44 to the quarters again, and I got 26s. But I need to get back into this one off 44. I thought we were getting filled on the bid because the market was pulling back in. I said, NVIDIA's going down. We'll cash that on the bid, but I did not reload Affirm, Intel. I want to be long in front of VWAP. We're buying the next available dip on this name. I think it's a strong name, and I want to continue to only look long there. Not to miss out on everything. You can't trade every single stock, but Uber is getting close to the $70 level. $70, if it gets to that price, I think it's worthy of a at least a look for the dip buy. That was afternoon support on Friday. So Affirm back into the short. On the bid, Intel 44 is looking to pick that one back up.
Oh, come
and
on.
If Uber
Affirm,
gets down
honestly.
here, I do want that 70.
Honestly, Affirm, like we were 10 cents off. We're back into it again, but honestly, like it was a trophy raiser, the amount of shares that we had, but unfortunately we'll get stopped out on that. But we're back in it, so it's fine. But it's like, it sucks to take the hit and then have to build it back. That's all, but whatever, I just kind of laugh at it anyway. So, all right, here's a nice move up here, obviously, as we'll just continue to talk our book here. As Snapchat goes up, like we're in Affirm, and I'll take a small piece there as it comes back into the 50s, but we did get stopped out. So we got stopped out. It won't be as bad as the Amazon stop out, but we are into Affirm right there. So Amazon, not that it was a bad stop out, I think we did good getting out at VWAP at the time, but look, Amazon's definitely not as strong as we thought. So Amazon's coming back in pretty decently right now as well. So watch out for that move. We just did get that fill on Snapchat as well. So this name continues to work to the high side. Yeah, unfortunately, RIVN, we did good getting out there at VWAP, but it's right back upside again here on RIVN. So let's take a little bit more. But again, we do have to watch out for that 50 spot breaking. So we'll take a little bit more into the short here. Here comes Amazon. We're long on this name. We've got Snapchat. We just took some more Amazon right now. So let's start to get a little bit out here on AMZN as it's just trying to moon backside now. So there it goes, man. Another 20-cent winner on more shares. More shares. Like, so anyways, as you can see, we have 6 positions right now. Disney long, RIVN short, Snap long, Amazon long, Affirm short. Like, it's nuts. I got to start to manage some of this, but it's all good over here.
Bye-bye Intel.
Yeah, bye-bye Intel, good. So
that's if I'm not mad at any of the losing trades because everything has been to plan so far. Like if it stopped out, it was at the level I liked, and then I'm just back in at the next level. For an example here on Affirm, like you wicked at 46. Don't hold it through that dollar, just make the next trade and get some 45.5s. But Intel, I did not get the dip buy. It's now broken another leg out. It's 2.6% to the upside, and Intel seems to want 45. There's got to be another entry here, but we got to be patient. I'm not chasing the highs. I do want to get a dip. It might have to be somewhere in the quarter range. But they're still in the same 2 positions. I'm back into RIVN and then Affirm off the next level up, which was at 46. Let's go back to the desk with Adara.
Really good look for Trade Desk this morning. TTD up over 3%, getting a upgrade from, initiation from Seaport Research to neutral. This one, though, also on watch ahead of its earnings after market close on Thursday, February 15th. So watch out for TTD, super strong on the day, guys.
And Amazon.
Alibaba is super strong on the day.
Let's go Alibaba.
3% to the upside and breaking 74s on Baba. I didn't see any story in the space, but it's back above the 50 period, which sits at 73.25. So you want to get into these while the getting is good before the afternoon when they stop trading. Well, they don't stop trading. They slow down in volume. But look at this. Gap fill back to this close at 73.25. Yeah, I'm buying the dip in front of 73.25. Anything you can get on Alibaba here.
Oh man, we almost put Bob on the sticky note, but we didn't. All right, so good question there by.
What was the question?
I forget who it was. Oh, there it was. What's up? Oh, what's up, Adam? What's up, good friend Adam? Adam Deleuze here. Try not to deluge today. How come you're long Amazon when it's below VWAP? Yeah, I mean that is a very good point, Adam. And sometimes we get carried away over here. And no, so I'm just long off this bottom. I thought Amazon was going to be strong today. It's on the sticky note. We definitely took it long there. Like I said, we could have the #1 P&L name, but we also have the #1 P&L loser today, and it's going to be Amazon. And it's just, I took the hit all the way to the downside. We've been sort of buying these dips into pre-market bottoms. I have numerous methods to skin cats around here, and that's just another one. So we're just going to wait to see what happens now with Amazon, because again, if I like the long up there, I should like it down here. So let's just wait to see. We can get thrown off of these trades sometimes by rapid movements, but we are getting out of Amazon. So you are right. This is a weaker name, obviously with the market being somewhat strong. I turned the market around today and said that I thought this would be bearish action, and I'm still kind of sticking with it. I mean, the market hasn't done much, and we're literally at VWAP, which tells you exactly that. But guess what? Turn that frown upside down. Affirm could be my #1 name very, very soon, as we got a lot of shares and we are a lot of short right now. So let's go Affirm. Bring that pain to the downside as we start to get some more out of this name here. There it goes. See, I don't know. Like, we just started to exit some out. I don't know what this name is doing. If it wants to get, okay. If it wants to get down to the downside, then I will say those words over and over again. Okay, Affirm, let's see if we can get down, man. What about 45.20? Man, this will be amazing if that could happen. Snapchat is on one as well, man. Those of you that didn't hit the Snapchat, I really like that 11.50, and I thought it made a lot of sense down there. It's on the sticky note. I felt like pretty smart when I was writing it. All right, Affirm, whatever. Let's just let this thing die. We're almost green on Affirm right now, despite having that out earlier, but we're good to go on this one. We talk about believing in the names, and sometimes you're just wrong on your ins and your outs. But right now, we're going to stay short on this perennial loser, Affirm.
Although, in Affirm's defense, going into earnings, they were very strong. It tanked after that. But yeah, I think you got to stick with it. That as long as it's under 46, I want to continue to try to short that level. New position for me is going to be Google or Alphabet, as sometimes we're supposed to say, 148. This was the dip buy level we said in our rundown. And it got to 48. You can see the wick bottom. We always talk about being patient as a trader. Let it get to the price. Let it bounce off the price. And if everyone else is buying off that level, then I can just join the buying. I got 15s as an average price. I got 13s and 17s, just to be clear. 2 entries. Took some out in front of VWAP. I want this to break the trend, but until that happens, I'll respect the fact that this is a bit of a downward trend on Alphabet. It is red on the day, but it's a support level that I like here, and we'll take some out in front of VWAP because I think that's what you got to do if you're trading a counter trend stock. Intel is now making a dip back in there again. So I want to be long this on the next available dip. I'm going to cancel my 44s. Wow. That trade might have come and gone already, but I'll look for the VWAP bounce somewhere in here on Intel. So we're already a quick little bounce on Google. Affirm now nicely pulling back into that 45 zone. Sir. I want this out at VWAP here because it's an upward trend.
Yes, sir. Wow. Yeah. Oh, hi. We're a little excited about Affirm there. I don't know if you guys could tell that. This is going to be a good, hopefully, let's go RIVN. We are juiced on this name. Let's go RIVN right now. Get to the downside. We are juiced on this. We are juiced on a lot of things. Look at Disney. What am I even doing right now? I have more shares than I even know about right now. So I got to get to all of this. Disney, bang, 70 cents in the money. I mean, this is what, shout out to Rob. He's like, oh, what are you guys doing over there? He's like, oh, I'm just hosting a show, you know, and trying to give you guys these winners. This is like a little stressful for me because a lot of these names are really starting to go, and we've given them to you, man, all from the jump. Amazon, Monster right here, RIVN, let's go. We did just get a bunch out there, though, because I feel like we're wrong on RIVN. I want to hold it, but we're not right on it. Like, it's not tanking the way... Not tanking. I don't think we expected it to tank, but it's not moving lower the way I had hoped it would. But what is moving down is Affirm, and Affirm's right into this spot. So we're going to go from worst to first here on AFRM. And thank you so much, Affirm, for that, man. Let's see if it can just continue to the downside. Like Affirm, Disney, like really? Like Affirm, Disney, and Snapchat are all just absolute monsters right now, and then Amazon's trying to join the party as well. So let's see if this gets going, man. Yes, it's a Monday. It's a lack of sleep day for your boy. But that don't matter because we're here every single day. You know, no sleep, we watch the Super Bowl. No sleep, we come in. No sleep, we throw to Adara at the big desk.
The market also seeming a little bit lethargic today, still pretty much flat here on the SPY, up about 0.02% right now. We do have some key earnings coming up this week. Airbnb, DoorDash, DraftKings, quite a few on watch. Shopify actually coming before market open tomorrow. So earnings are going to continue to be really key in the market. Also some inflation data coming up tomorrow, specifically CPI. So lots to keep an eye on. But today the markets are pretty subdued. Some stocks worth keeping an eye on here today include NVIDIA, which there were some comments from Jensen Huang over the weekend. We also had a price target increase from Melius Research from 750 to 920. Also, I was reading that apparently NVIDIA has surpassed Amazon in market cap for the first time in 20 years. So really good look here for NVDA, continuing to be very strong. Some other ones on watch right now, C3AI up almost 6%. No news on this one, but this one does have a short float of about 32%, so absolutely something worth keeping an eye on with regards to the short float there on AI. Last but not least, Monday reporting this morning, and very much to the downside here, down about 10.5%, despite actually his pretty strong earnings report overall. So MNDY to the downside here, guys.
Monday reporting, and it is good. It is good to be trading on a Monday. I don't know anything about that company or that stock, but I feel like if they didn't report on a Monday, then they'd be foolish. But I'm going to take the profit and run on a firm. It's all about those key price levels. And again, 45.5, top end of the zone was that 46 level. I said I was out at VWAP because when it's trending to the upside like this, I look for that support to come in, and if it bounces and reloads off the 46 level, we'll wait for that 46 to come back. So get in, get out, try to rinse and repeat if you can. Oh, I took another leg out of Alphabet, speaking of VWAP. Hey, there's a coincidence. Something else, just retraced to VWAP. So short a top into VWAP, buy a low into VWAP once again. So take some out, try the reload if it bounces off 148 another time, and then just rinse and repeat at the key price levels. Speaking of VWAP, one more time. Yeah, well, with this one, we're not getting at VWAP. Intel, right back at those highs. This will be the one that I regret because I like this to the long. In terms of chasing it, I'm just not going to do it. The NASDAQ just went red. You know, like, I mean, NVIDIA's up. It doesn't really matter. Like, the NASDAQ just went red and has been slowly sort of fading off here. I feel like buying highs on any tech name is just not the way to go. So I'll try to wait patiently for this. You don't want to get that FOMO just because you like the long, you're in it, and you missed adding to it. But if we can get this VWAP, this is at least something which is trending up. Instead of trying to buy lows on Google, I'd rather buy something which is trending up, which is what Intel is actually doing here. So we'll see if we can actually catch something on that. That BMR stock, I know a lot of people are excited with it. It's halted again at the highs. Indicated open is 920. So double top, halted at that double top, indicating an open, what's that, like 5% higher, at now 925. So this is a crazy run. We said it was a high probability to halt, and that has now happened at 10 o'clock.
All right, guys, we're starting to get out of RIVN right now because, you know, having mistakes is one thing and then acknowledging them and still holding on to them is another, right? So we're going to get out. We are now out of more than half right now. And there's one person today that has a higher P&L than me right now. And I'm going to say a big shout out to Yannick. So congratulations, Yannick, on the floor right now. We got to celebrate the traders that we have. We've talked about this over and over again. There's a lot of traders on this floor that are about to blow the hell up. And one of those is Yannick. So congratulations to that. Obi had a monster day as well, just going through. So congrats to Yannick on that one. All right, Disney upside right now, 109.95. There it is. Bang, 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 bang. Let's go on that one and hit that right now. Yeah, you guys remember Yannick. So good job on that one there in the chat. That's what we're doing, man. I'm just mentioning that. I'll have to ask Yannick if he wanted me to say that right there. But that's the whole point. I want you guys to see traders on the floor that are having good successes, right? We talked about Patrick's success the last couple days there on Mara, and so a shout out to him. And then I also, yeah, there you go. Way to go, Yannick. Yeah, Yannick is a boss, so you're right about that one. So let's drop some money.
Rammy.
Yeah, Yanni Rammy. That's for damn sure.
Bit of a nickname on the floor.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, he's been hosting before, so all that goes there. So there it is, guys. Yeah, shout out to Frank Jones and everybody who appreciates that kind of talk.
Frank.
That's what we're all about, guys, is trying to show you that, you know, it does take time and effort to sort of be the successful trader that you may want to be. I hope, anyways. All right, so Rivian downside right now. Amazon, great job by Adam DeLuce there. We got some out there at 174.80. Like I said, we're having a nice day. Disney's still upside. It's really just Rivian that I wait for right now, and I do want to. Wish is also there as well.
There was something on Context Logic. Well, we'll find the story. Maybe we'll get a Derek, because I know Context Logic had news this morning why it's running, and it's a low float. It's a low float runner as well. I'm not trading it, but Yannick in the chat. We have Yanni on the floor. We have Yannick in the chat. Asked me, am I reloading Alphabet? Yannick's chilling right now. There's Yanni.
You could do that.
Yannick in the chat asking if I was reloading Google. Answer, yes, I just did. I actually had already done that when you asked the question off the 148 level.
Disney.
So I want to play it back into VWAP just like we did, but if it cannot hold the 148, I'm just going to get out. Simple trade here. If it holds that bottom that we like for support, great. We'll play it back into VWAP. It's about 15 cents worth of risk here. We're able to get about 30 to 40 on those last two outs in front of VWAP. Let's go to the desk. We've got, once again, Adara.
It's about context logic. I did find the story here and a little bit of context for this stock in general. It does have a 13% short float and 21 million share float in all. So that's like kind of the more basic background on this. The news story is that it's trading higher after the company announced an agreement to sell most of its operating assets and liabilities to this Q0010 company for about $173 million in cash. So interesting story there and some background on WISH.
Oh, man.
So very quickly there, you know how I roll. Do not want to turn good and do bad. Reloaded that Google, it does not hold the 148. Remember, it's a downward trending stock, lower highs. There's a support level, going to play it. When support breaks, you get the you-know-what out of Dodge. That's very similar to a firm. Like if a firm had broken that local high there, I would have gotten out. I might move this stop order. So it bounces off VWAP, not stop order. I moved my offer in front of 46 on a firm there. It just feels like if it gets back up there, I want to see a top and then engage in it. The way a firm will run higher and then pull back, like the entry off the wicks, I feel like that's the way to go. RIVN, gonna slap the fail on that one.
Oh, no.
If I get in, my stop is at the local high. I get in, my stop is at the local high that I'm shorting from. You gotta wait for this to make a top. It is way too strong right now in RIVN, so it's not gonna be a good one here. Alphabet's trying at that 148. But I feel like if I'm getting back into something, get in, get out, adhere to your stops. The one I'm missing is Intel, and I keep coming back to this because this isn't a clear trend and a trend that I want to be a part of. I just don't want to be buying the highs. Not at this time of day. It's past 10 o'clock where I want things to settle down, maybe give me that VWAP entry. So I'm just going to sit and try to nibble on the bid in front of VWAP here. Amazon, I was in it for the breakout. It just wicked that 174 level, which is a pre-market low. That's the only other place that I wanted to see some kind of support in. I wanted the 175 break. It was good the first time. The second time was a mixed result. And now you're playing off the even 174. So there is your resistance to support to now support again. So it's very similar to the Google trade for me here on Amazon.
Holy God. Disney right now is on one. Up through 110, up through 110.50. So we got to take some out right now as it just continues to moonshot here with Disney. Huge upside move happening right in front of us. So let's just be careful with that one. We are very close to getting out of RIVN as well, but we didn't. So we're here short. We'll get some out now at 47. This is where we're short. We actually took that fill at 1650 to go more short on this name. So we're pretty good on this right now for RIVN. Like I said, it's going to be hopefully a good name for us, but it still needs to fall back in. We are very close to getting stopped out on RIVN as it does make that move. And I didn't even see this was at 1150, so unfortunately I put a 1044 offer there a little bit too late. So I do have it up now, and we'll be able to watch Disney. And then, yeah, man, same way. We just took more profit on Amazon. Like buying these dips and holding out for bottom breaks has been working, but it's going to break right now again. So we just took a 06, and then my best out there I think was 17s, 19s. So 06 is out 9s, out 14s, out 19s right there on Amazon. So again, we'll take about a 10-cent hit when it breaks, which is looking like now for Amazon. So bye-bye, that will come out of the account. With the market going to the downside, we just hope that the same thing can be true for a firm and for RIVN. We only have, so just FYI on all of this, we only have, what? I thought it was at 1044. Oh, did I get filled there? No, I did not. Okay. So we only have a piece left of Disney. Like, and by a piece, it's embarrassing to tell you we have about 15% left. We'll take out about 5% upside right there, and then see if that one will flow through again for us there. But yeah, smaller piece there left on Disney as it's trying to get, I'm just going to take a piece out right now. It's trying to get a little exhausted, needless to say, there on Disney. And there we go. We'll slap a fail on it, but honestly, we've made back. Oops. we've made back money. So it's kind of a two-pronged thing there. We made back about 30% of this loss, the initial loss on Amazon just by buying these dips. So far so good there. We did get that Disney fill for $1.10. Oh, we've had some of these today and we haven't done it. There's $1.10 on Disney. And then I'm hoping to spin the dollar on Affirm. The best we got was about 80 cents, and it's making its way all the way back. So we'll have to wait to see if that hits. Right now, my stop is breaking through 46, a little higher than that. But it looks like Affirm wants to say, nope, we're going upside. As RIVN, here we go. Nice RIVN, just following our sort of plan of action here. Upside breaks, but very, very briefly, that 1650 spot. So we'll take a little bit more up there and then hopefully fade this back in. If RIVN fails right now, man, this is going to be good. Thank you so much, Oscar, for the nice comments there on Snapchat. Like I said, when you believe in something, you get on that and you ride that. So there it goes. Snapchat, you know, we just took some out upside right there into 11.95, like 50 cents on $11 name. You know, we'll take that 4%. Nice move back up to the upside. NQ is getting to the low of the day. I mean, that could be possible. We're bearish.
A little for,
we're bearish. We've been bearish since the beginning of the day here. So so far so good here. Come on, Affirm. The only thing we missed was the reload, but that's okay. Let's see if Affirm can come down. We're close to the highest spot we've been at all day right now, and we're doing pretty good, man. We're doing pretty good.
So I'm back into Rivian on a wick. So when it does that, stop out, get a new position on under that 1650 level. So it stopped out once, then we get back in, play the VWAP, just gonna play it the same way. If it sees 16 again, great, I'll hold on a piece for the dream. But this market, we're just not quite there in terms of finding that low. Like 18, we got to 1806 or something like that. So we're close to 18,000 on that dip. You're about 10 handles away from it. If we bounce off that 18,000 level, anything that I like long, I want to try to buy on that kind of a bounce. So that's Intel. If we can hold the Google 148, then I go right back into that one more time. But now Rivian's starting to come in. Sorry, I'm just going to get it out in front of the 30s on Rivian. Again, play however you decide, right? Like we talked about this on one of the lessons of the day. You've got to pick the style of trader you are. I am a get out and get back in going against the grain style trader. I'm not a try to average into it and then work it on the way back. You just pick the lane you want to be in and then choose your style. There's always different styles that you can play. But back into VWAP, going to take profit every single time.
Do it.
Back into VWAP. But this is the dip that the only thing I like is Intel on VWAP and maybe Google at that 148 if it can hang on. The short's starting to come right back into play. You just got to be patient and wait for those key levels.
It's Rivian. I know Neil just talked about it, but yeah, that's exactly. We'll try to be different traders, but that's kind of the exact same thing that I'm doing too, is trying to sit in pockets of shares that we like. I mean, it's the same reason why we're in Affirm again. It's the same reason why we're still in Rivian. It's the same reason why we're in Disney and Snapchat. And I think, as Neil was saying, this is the biggest thing that's changed for me. And again, man, this is going to be a big day. I don't know if we'll catch Yanni in the back there, but we'll say Hydration Nation upside right now, and shout out to everybody who's part of that nation. It's a good one, man, and we're going to be at the highest spot because of that reason. Sticking with names, and I'm glad that you'll mention this, sticking with names that you like, right? And I think that's why when you're going to look down and you're going to see me only trading, which I say only trading, I mean, for me, this is why I say for me, it's definitely changed. Only trading 4 or 5 names and making sure that we're in them, we've got them, and you know we will step up and in on some, and we'll lose, right? Like Amazon. Like I said, we'll have one red name today, Amazon, and it sucked, you know, all the way down, all the way up, you know. But at the same time, when we look over, we're actually up about 50% more on Disney than we're down on Amazon, more than that, than we're down on Amazon. So that's what I'm saying. It's like in the past, we've taken this and then just scalped it out and then held an Amazon loser. And it's like, oh man, like at the end of the day, you look over and you lost twice on Amazon, your next best winner. But that is now changing. So we're gonna do that, man. We're gonna just keep getting aggressive on the names that we like, just like that Rivian. That just dropped into VWAP. right there. Why do I have these lines out, right? I got to acknowledge those. So we got another out there at 16.25, and right now it's back up to the 50-period moving average. So I am sitting back on the bid. Did I just get that fill there? No. So I thought I put a bid there, but I didn't. But we're going to have to get out on some more RIVN right now because it's at this level. So back into the 50-period. Oh no, I did put a bid at 32. I just didn't get it. Okay. So we'll wait to see if RIVN comes in. Affirm is starting to get a little juicier to the downside, but then again, we got to follow our rules and get out a little bit there. There was some talk about Meta. Wow,
Meta
it's only 10.18 right now.
I think part of the issue with this market pullback could be how strong Meta was, and if it doesn't hold on to this higher low. Because I look at what was carrying the market to the upside on those bigger cap tech names. You saw Google was at its lows, you saw Amazon fail a breakout, and now you have Meta, which was looking so strong. If it can't hold VWAP, this move is in trouble, and 18,000 could go. So be careful there. BMR, you want the tap on BMR. Scotty H, $12.
What's up, Scotty H?
Bye-bye, BMR. All you got to do is have apparently all you have to do is make a deal with NVIDIA and have a small float. And then you too can be up 440% and looking to go even higher. I'm obviously kidding about that. I don't even know the nature of the deal. I didn't read the article, but more importantly, I think it's a $2 or $3 million float on that stock. Finally back into Intel. Hey, buy the dip. Now let's see if it can actually work. We got a breakout first. Now we're buying the dip off of VWAP on Intel. But this market does seem like it want to press those lows. And if Meta can't hold on, I think you're in a world of hurt to said downside. A lot of names out there. I know we're going to go to Dara in a quick little second, but there's one more that I wanted to go back to. In the midst of reloading Rivian, I did miss that 48 hold on Google. Maybe you can test it again and put another higher low, but this is another case of downward trending stock. Be careful. When you get into it, you want to catch it on the bounces. Stood in front of it last time, but get the bounce and wait for the bounce, then get in on the other side of the trade. That's a better way to go, as we're now going to Adara for the small cap recap.
IWM, the Russell 2000, so that small cap ETF, getting a nice little bounce here at that area of previous resistance, that 201.20 area, up about 1% on the day, so not at all a bad look for IWM. And today has certainly been run by a series of small cap runners, including BMR, just mentioned by Neil there. Beamer Imaging, set to present joint research relating to automated video modernization with NVIDIA at the Mile High Video 2024 conference. So really nice look for this one. Also, this one halting quite a lot, so beware. Another multi-halter here is Millennium Group International, MGIH. This one trading higher after a company reported a 89% stake in MGIH in a filing on Friday. So really nice look for this one as well. Last but not least, a bit of a latecomer to the small cap runners today. DIH Holdings, DHAI is going to be the ticker for this one. This actually IPO'd on Friday and also announced on Friday $1.5 million in private placement financing from OrbiMed. So lots of small cap runners to keep an eye on. All of these are very much prone to halting, so I would be cautious there, guys.
All right, I was just looking at Tesla here.
Tell me it's at the lows.
Yeah, it's at the lows.
Okay, well, that makes Rivian reload a little better.
Yeah, I'm still in that. Well, I'm still waiting for Rivian to get a little bit higher, but yeah, Tesla's right here at lows. I mean, it's at 192. It's not at its very low of 191.50, but I mean, that's pretty close right there. I was debating going long down here, but then I'm looking at my chart, and it's kind of like I've already sort of mentioned the NASDAQ, me being a little short bias, and it just hit the low pretty much of the day. I mean, we did have that huge wick off the open where we were looking pretty smart on that call, and then it ripped all the way to the upside, and now you're under view up and under the 50 period. So I'm more confident in trying to look for some shorts. Yeah, unbelievable, guys. Honestly, thank you so much for all of that. Let's just go bang. Thank you, Oscar. Yeah, I mean, Snapchat being this big of a trade, obviously I didn't think that it would have been this big. I was talking about it coming out relatively quickly, which is what we basically did. And then so up to $12 is just a hero trade. It's not, I did not think that we'd get this high up. So yeah, anyways, we'll take another piece out there on Snapchat. If you guys have higher targets, great. Like I don't, my stop was 10 cents. So to be in the money 50 cents is quite large. And I was not, like I just said, man, I was not really expecting that kind of a trade there.
But the key is you hold on to a piece in case it happens. Like when you get a winning trade, part of the idea of, even if you think it's 2 to 1, 3 to 1. You hold on to a piece for, we call it the dream, but that's when you say hold on to a piece for the dream, that's what it's essentially all about. Because Snapchat, while you might not expect it to do that, it just got 30% to the downside a week ago, which means it does have that potential to make a bit of a, after earnings, that's what I was getting at. But Meta is bouncing off of VWAP, which I think is good for it, possibly good for the market, but you're getting, let me go to my black chart, because this one has, on a 3-minute Intel, my VWAP is off on my other charts. I'm going to show you what I'm actually looking at here. It's at 44 level. So 44, 44.05, that's where I want to see a bounce and a reload. As you just mentioned about Tesla being at those lows, well, RIVN is right back in to that local high at 16.5. So played off VWAP once. I'm back to it here, grabbing some 46s. Actually have 45 half as an average price because we got 45 before and then we added just 46s now. So if this can hold on, back into VWAP is the way to go for me on RIVN. What else we got going? Snapchat, Palantir, that's the one. The other post-earnings play that we haven't really looked at today. Look at it. This is, if I like Intel trending up, if it can hold VWAP there, Palantir is giving you pretty much the same look and it's relatively strong. Market is red, Palantir is up 1%. Until it gets to 25, I think the long can be okay here. I just feel like 25 has been a problem for Palantir. I'd much rather be buying a dip. The closer it gets to 25, the less I want to be buying that top because that's been a huge resistance zone on Palantir. But if you got it, good luck.
Yeah, we were looking at that earlier. All right, so we just reloaded a little bit more. We got some 47 or 48s there, and we just got a 43 fill. I'm trying to hold RIVN, but like deep down, it's like I know that it's a long. It just keeps on bouncing off VWAP. Like it bounced off VWAP, bounced off VWAP, bounced off VWAP. I have to get my mind right about that because technically this should be a long. It just keeps on bouncing off VWAP. So yeah, we'll take some more outs as it gets lower. Like I have a bid right now at 40, and then I have a bid at 32 in case we're lucky enough to get VWAP again. So. We'll see if that happens, then an out at 56 if it does take it. All right, so we were just debating that Tesla trade, and obviously we've missed it. Well, no, actually, sorry, it did go up and it just came back down. We were just looking at it. It was at near 192.75. So, all right, nice move for sure. For Tesla back down, could be basing out right now. Could be basing out. I mean, that's looking pretty decent. The problem is that I'm short bias. So I would rather short this up here near 193 if we can get a bump on Tesla. So that's where I'm looking. I'm looking for a bump on Tesla to get short. Unfortunately, that's just the look that I have there. And it looks like it's going down. So that's going to be right on that. Despite, look at the market doing this, Tesla doing this. So that's a look right there to play relative weakness in Tesla if you see fit on that one. All right, the next name really to start to look at here would be Google. Down here.
I just got back into Google.
Oh, did you? Okay, do you want to talk about it? Because I was thinking the same thing at 148. Are you looking long?
Yeah, I just went into to nines on Google. Like it just did that 148 wick, which by the way, the second time I traded this long, it stopped out the local bottom. Then where I got out under the 48 break is exactly where it turned around. So higher low off 48. I'm back in, give it to the local low here. It's about 15 cents worth of risk. Go 1 to 1, then to VWAP, and if it continues to go higher, fantastic. On Alphabet, do want to respect the fact that it is trending down. So if it breaks not the low of the day, but the local bottom, I'm jumping out of it. And if the market bounces, whoops, hit enter again, guess what's back up at the top? So Affirm's getting really close to that retest of 46. I want to get back into it, but it's got to be pretty tight to that high. Don't want to take it too early. I want to see if we can't get a little bit tighter to that 46 level to short this. Short it at the highs would be the name of the game here for me, and then play back into VWAP. It's a dollar range to the top, but last time I was only able to capture about 75 cents of it. Now that you're getting closer to the middle of the day, this is where you want to be tighter to that actual high there on Affirm.
Yeah, the market is breaking, trying to break VWAP here. We'll test it. I just saw Apple. Maybe I should be looking at Apple. What's up to Hampton's trader right here? You got me here looking at the NASDAQ now. All right, so we just went short a small little position here in the Qs. It's a $437 name, so I don't want to trade it with the same amount of shares I'm trading a Snapchat with or anything like that. We're going to give it to this high right there. Again, it's looking like it wants to go. Looks like these names want to continue to go. So we're gonna average it in and around the teens here on the Qs and then hold it to that high. Again, I feel like, you know, if we can retest down here, which I think is possible, it would be worth 40 or 50 cents. So we'll give this about 30 cents on this position, but we are trying to average in right around here to see if we can get something better. A firm's starting to go to the upside, so we already have that target. If we break through 46, we'll give it a couple more pennies and we'll get more short upside on a firm if that's going. Yeah, I still have, there goes Rivian. So I was going to say Rivian there. So look, we took a short, we got more out, and then as I said before, I feel like Rivian's a long. So definitely missed opportunities buying off VWAP there, but you know, so be it there with Rivian. We'll have to rest on that.
Just from a technical, because I got the same stop out, but I have a 15-minute up. I want to put some perspective on this for anybody that is long. Like I shorted in front of the previous low, then it made a high in the halves, and now it's broken out that 50 level. What it ended up doing is reestablishing Friday's support as now today's support on that breakout. So I think this could carry to that 17 level. I'm not going to touch it to the south side unless it's a 17 fail, which is another 2% away here. It has to go green for that to be the case. But sometimes it'd be like that. You can try shorts, and they can work a couple times, but then the trend goes against you. Alphabet is trying to bounce with this market off that 148. That was the newest position. Hit enter again. There you go. Looking for that VWAP retracement on Alphabet. Same thing. I mean, VWAP retracement back to VWAP. Similar thing on Intel, but I'm looking for a bounce on VWAP on a stronger name to set upside. That BMR, just to update you guys, it went another level of crazy and might halt to the downside here. So like the other level of crazy was going from $12 to $17. Okay, I guess it just resisted a down halt. It looked like, a second ago, this looked like it was about to halt to the downside, but it's actually bouncing again. Oh man, take profits on this. This could be at like $8 or $9 in an absolute heartbeat again, but just resisted a down halt, it looks like. So I don't want to get ahead of myself there.
All right, we'll take a very, very small piece out of the triple Qs here. We did get a decent spot. We got the price that we wanted, and then we just took a little piece as it fell back into VWAP again right there, back into the 90s. So we're short 07 right now. We'll put another bid here. We're just trying to get out of small pieces to try to hold for it. There it is. So there we go. We got some 96s there. 95s. Here we go. 89s. Okay, now we're starting to fall down.
Here we go.
So we've sort of shorted the futures here. It's 15 handles in the money from where we have it, but we are trading the triple Qs right now. So we'll wait to see if it goes back into the downside. But you guys wanted more futures trading, so here we go. And we'll see if we can get some nice movement down to the downside now on the triple Qs. Very, very tough for me anyways to trade the futures and all these equities on the show. So we're going to try to focus on these Qs for a minute. Now we're starting to bounce back up again. Let's go over to the desk and hear some more about, or something about, as we haven't talked about it too much, crypto.
No shortage of things to discuss with regards to crypto today and this whole week, but one stock to keep an eye on here is CleanSpark. CLSK up 16% still off those earnings reported Thursday after close. GAAP EPS up significantly year over year, and a significant sales beat from estimates as well. Keep an eye on Coinbase coming up with earnings after market close on Thursday. So more Bitcoin and crypto stock related earnings on the horizon coming up here. Also worth of note, of course, Bitcoin right now above that 49,000 area. Certain analysts have had some notes here about crypto, including Bernstein saying that they believe that there will be a FOMO-induced rally, bringing Bitcoin to new all-time highs. Grayscale also talking about Bitcoin's position ahead of the halving. So lots of analyst notes on Bitcoin as it has been super active to the upside as of late, up 2% right now, up just above that 49,000 level. Ethereum getting a little bounce as well, above that 2,500 area. Generally pretty mixed for the rest of these, not seeing the outsized reaction that we have with Bitcoin. Cardano up about 0.66% and Solana down 1.5%, guys.
So quick little update. One, we do have crypto, and I promise you this, I'm taking a 50,000 break on this. I mean, it might not happen today, but when it does happen, I'm dip buying it today, and the scaling is weird. There you go. So if we pull back into this 48.8, I want to try to buy the dip. If it breaks 50,000 today, rest assured, at Real Trading, I will be taking this long on that 50 break. But for now, I want to buy the dip. Oh, bouncing off VWAP, at least this is good. Powering up off VWAP is Intel. Powering up, hopefully, to VWAP is Google. So strong stock bounces nicely. Weaker stock takes a little bit more oomph to get going. I guess that makes sense. But
yeah, I like that.
In that vein, I did reload Affirm, and Affirm took out the local high. So I was back into it. It made a lower high for a hot minute. I was back in at 86s, and then it broke the top, so I'm out. I need to see it curl in the other direction to try to jump back into this. Like maybe show some weakness out to 46, but that was a heck of a bounce for that NASDAQ. I'm going to assume Meta is absolutely flying. But Intel much, much better than Google on that bounce. And why? Because Intel is a stock that has an upward trend. So buying the dip on the trend is going to be easier to get the win than it is trying to get the one bouncing off the bottom and support.
Oh, man. We are, yeah, we're in and out of Affirm, back in, of course. But this NVIDIA is starting to give me a little bit of like,
FOMO?
Not FOMO, but WTF, because like, it's not, it's just continuously going. And what I was going to say is I'm not going to fight anymore. Like this futures position, like, you know, Affirm is actually falling down a little bit here as there it goes. So as the Qs continue to go higher, I mean, I'm just looking at a name like, you know, we keep saying this, shorting the market and shorting when something like this is happening seems absolutely insane. And
what's crazy,
it's still going.
To that point though,
trade the socks, I
Google can't get to VWAP right now. Microsoft is down 0.6%. And like trying to break VWAP as we speak. Like I know the market's going up on the NASDAQ, but believe me, there's some names that are holding it up a little bit here. So respect them. But I'm going to take another leg out. If the high of the day happens on Intel, remember I said every 50 cents on this stock is resistance. It's just how the stock tends to trade. So 44.51 is the high of the day. I want to be out of 80% of it if it gets to that price. I'm going to take another leg out here in the 30s on this VWAP bounce play for INTC. Ash, you're right. We haven't really talked too much about ARM. And I know that's, you pick your poison, ARM 130. So I thought I felt really smart covering my personal account on ARM. It doesn't look very good right now. I got like 120s or something.
That's
130.
You can never be right.
I mean, that's the thing. You're never, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. I was long in the 60s. It felt really smart at that time. Why wouldn't you want to take that so fast? $131.
Yeah.
Valuation doesn't matter, apparently. It really doesn't. Not for these guys.
Yeah, no, it hasn't mattered.
No, it doesn't. It hasn't mattered since the beginning on this stock. So I don't know why I think it would now. The other update, so Affirm out. Intel, we're taking profit, but Google, as the market's going higher, couldn't hold on to that 148. So it did a couple of times. Third time, not a charm for Alphabet here as it continues to be weak. So maybe stick to the strong names. At this point of the day, I usually want to be focusing on what has been working the whole way, and that to this point right now has been Intel. Long on the 44 break, I thought we'd go dip buy hunting on Intel. It never gave the dip buy. It ended up just a clean break at 43.50. Hindsight being 20/20. That would have been nice. But hey, you can just join the trend. You can't always try to recreate the trade that you missed. Sometimes it's just about getting the next one.
Yeah, I'm not trying to have too much hindsight with Disney here. It's huge, man. This is $1.70. I'm gonna have. There we go. I was gonna say I'm trying to get something out here. I just realized like this name is getting near those levels again, where we had some problems. I mean, we still have a little ways to go, but I mean, in a market that's not. Well, sure, okay. I mean, whatever, man. The market's up 0.3 right now, but Disney is like loving that bottom today. We talked about it early, and I had to take the 109 break. We had talked about why we like that. It's still going to be a good little name here. But what we've lost on so far, is the Qs. So I was just going to talk about RIVN. I don't even know what RIVN's doing. I clicked on that by accident. But right now, the Qs are looking to take out those highs. So we got stopped out on that wick. So I was like, you know what? Let's just play into these pre-market highs. Honestly, if the market wants to keep on going, then keep on going and we'll get stopped out. But I feel like this is kind of worth it. If we're just dancing around some of these levels here, let's just see if it does get going through the highs. It looks like it wants to. So it looks like these futures and Apple and the Qs will go off. I did want to see, I'll have to clean up that wick, see what Apple is doing, see what Microsoft is doing in some of these bigger names. The reason why I like the Qs short again and why I keep on like being, is that I really think like Microsoft down, Apple down, like all these names are down, but then it's just like these chip names just continue to absolutely moon. So it's like when they turn around, this NASDAQ is going to get crunked to the downside. Crunked. You know, that's so you got to watch out for.
Now you think crunk is bad.
Yeah, exactly. Crunk is both good and bad here for the market.
It's true.
So we're going to wait to see here what happens down to the downside, but there is no stopping these things. Well, so the only thing it's going to do is stop me out. NVIDIA's going higher.
ARM just made a bit of a topping candle here. I thought maybe the rest of it was turning because
do we need to pay for short? No, because I shorted.
No, it's ARM's.
Yeah, shoot, I should have shorted ARM.
I haven't checked today. We have locates on it. So I don't. When it's a new IPO, sometimes you have to pay early. We did have to pay for ARM in the first week, but they've been free locates here at Real Trading, I think, for the last little bit. But I just took another leg out on Intel when I saw that wick. But you're absolutely right about it. NVIDIA is continuing to run higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
And until that turns around, you can forget about it. The other name that's strong is Meta's about to get to the high of the day as well. But I'm now just sticking with Intel until something else sets up that I can be patient with. But Meta, if Meta takes out the top, this could have been a dip buy as well, but it didn't quite give me the consolidation I would like to have seen down there. You could have played with the 475s. That was another alternative way to get in. I took another leg out here at the 44.30 when I saw ARM make that pullback, but if I had been looking at NVIDIA like you just said there, maybe I wouldn't have done so.
Oh man, yeah, NVIDIA is just so damn strong. We're gonna get out of the queues here. It's about to take out the high, and it's just like I'm just not going to fight this. We went over to it. We tried to short the futures here, and it's definitely not working out. So we're very, very close. It's just it's right at the high rate now. So there it is. So we got out. But you know what? Again, I don't want to just like keep shorting this into oblivion. Let's just give it a little bit more here room. It's not a good trade, but we don't have any bids, so we're trying to wait to see if this thing can fall down. Disney's $1.50 in the money. Affirm, like this is what I mean about like sometimes staying in your lane. You know, like we don't trade futures that often, but I felt the risk to reward was fine there. But look at Affirm. I mean, we got stopped. We shorted this again to the downside. But this market, I mean, Intel was. I have to go over to Intel.
No wonder Patrick's chilling like
176. Why?
I was wondering why Patrick was like there's like leaning back, and then he's like this because Mara is up 12%.
But he missed it. He said.
No, but I know he has it in his personal account, but no, but I know he's a Mara trader. Like, would you buy these highs on Mara right now? I wouldn't. I personally, like, I don't know if I could do it. We saw what happened, but this is wild. Like, we showed the chart of Bitcoin. Remember, Mara takes whatever Bitcoin's doing when it goes up and says we're just going to do more, because of the short float and the nature of how it works. That's why traders like this. But what a trend to the upside. I have 27 marked off, so we're going to go over to Sector Watch, and I'm going to remind myself why I have a line here at 27 on Mara.
Pretty mixed look across the board here. We do have technology services, pretty interesting, mostly to the downside with the notable exception of Meta. Pretty strong on the day here, up over 1%. Electronic technology, also an interesting look. Apple, AVGO down, but a lot of these other chip names to the upside, possibly buoyed by NVIDIA with a price target increase from Melius Research and some notes coming from Jensen Huang as well. So interesting look here. Finance, pretty strong. Health technology, a little bit weaker. Commercial services, definitely a bit weaker here. Consumer durables, generally green, but Tesla leading this group to the downside. Consumer non-durables, also worth a note here. We do have Procter & Gamble and Coke to the downside. Coke reporting earnings before market open on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Energy minerals also notably strong here, guys.
Okay, ARM just bamboozled an entry there. It was double top 131 on ARM. The second it saw 131 again, it was back at 130. So on the way back up here, I thought this was a retracement type play, and if it breaks, this is an easy out at 131 because this is obviously a level a lot of people are going to be looking at. So I'm going to back off, allow it to make another run at this 131 level. It's the time of day that I generally would look for a retracement anyways, like pullback trades. So it's already topped out at this 131. There was not a huge amount of size, but decent enough on ARM. Oh, and then Mara 27. The reason I had Mara 27 marked off, yeah, you just shorted the wrong name or went to short the wrong name. Go to the daily chart. Look at the 27 level on the daily. Look at the wick. Look at the resistance. And then you're seeing it pull back off the 27 level as we speak. So I had to remind myself by zooming out why I had the line drawn there. I'm not just going to punch short because I see a line on my chart. I'm going to remind myself, but as I went to go short arm at 131, I might have missed the chance to get this 27 on Mara. People are going to take profit at some point, even though the stock is trending up. I think it's a scalp trade off of these levels. If it pulls back to VWAP, like that would be a home run if you're short 27s and risking 20 pennies. As we go back to Adara.
Interesting day two move for earnings for Children's Place, PLCE. This one very much gapping down after its earnings with much lower expectations than were previously assumed by analysts. But nice recovery here, up almost 18% on pretty good volume for PLCE, guys.
Yeah, I don't really like that stock. Children's Place, every time I go in there, the place is empty. All right, 37.22. I mean, I haven't been there in 5 years, so I should watch out for that. But that was a great short.
It was, yeah.
I remember shorting that. I actually had puts on that and made a lot of money, and that was from my wife. So shout out to Marissa on that one, because she's like, nobody ever goes to Children's Place. I'm like, good enough for me. All right, so that was a good one right there.
Some other parents say some negative things about them.
Yeah, no, I mean, we used to shop there. So I don't know, but she told me it was dead. All right, so by the way. Money. Affirm is a monster, and if I ever stop shorting this name, please like direct me somewhere else. Like this is now we're now short at 46.13. This name is the name that just keeps on singing. It's Affirm, downside. Disney trying to make moves as well. Q's trying to make some moves as well. We're short into that against the high. Sorry, I was still on Disney. All right, so just for this one, we're trying to, let me zoom this back out. You see this high right there? I don't see enough catalysts. Like I said, if we're going to be wrong, we're going to be wrong, and we'll give back obviously on the Qs. But I'm surprised at this movement so far upside today. And it's been hurting us going short on the triple Qs, but I don't know the story's done yet on this name. So let's just wait for it. I'm waiting. It's not going to matter. Like I'm waiting for a pullback here, and honestly, I'm not sure we're going to get one. I just look over here, and this is where I'm wrong, because Apple's been beat up today. I thought that would mean the NASDAQ was trying to head higher, head lower. But you could see right now, Apple's back up to VWAP and taking it and holding it. So this 188 is going to be, once again, and see, there goes the Qs. Once again, a very interesting level. So we're getting really close, upside again on the Qs into Friday's high. So Qs go up and my net goes down because we're short right now on the Qs, and it's not a right position. We're short at 437.66 right now, 10 cents out on the Qs, but it is still making moves higher there. Disney, $1.50 in the money. I should have just stayed long that one all day, but we don't know that's going to happen. So let's just pay attention to the Qs. My biggest concern now as this name continues to rip higher.
Speaking of shorts on stocks that are ripping higher, that 27 short, I got it on maybe not exactly 27 on Mara. I got 88s in here. I'm on the bid right in front of 75s, which oddly enough,
flush a little
sometimes you should put it not exactly at 70, whatever. Don't put it at 75. Bid's like 77s. When it bounces off an obvious level like quarters and evens, sometimes you just want to put it at the center two in front of that level, because I could have just got filled and try to rinse and repeat. Bitcoin is making a move, but this is a 27 level that I had marked off on the daily chart, which I did mention to you guys as a reason to go against the grain. If it takes out 27, then we'll just get the you-know-what out of Dodge. Intel, come on. It's going to come back down to VWAP, it looks like. So I'll try the same thing, but maybe a little bit more patience this time. Allow it to bounce, go sideways, and then try to make its move. And chill vibes, now Rivian want to pay me on the short. That's how it goes sometimes. That's what the market can tend to do to you. Like it'll try to stop people out and then make that move to the downside. But I want to acknowledge here, as I'm in, let me cancel this, cancel that bid there I have on BTC. Like, what good is that going to be down at 48.8? As we get higher, remember, Bitcoin's also testing that 50,000 level. That's the other thing in play with this Mara 27. Bitcoin is now at 49,688 or whatever the heck is. I mean, it's close enough to 50,000 that 50,000 is in play on this break. So if we turn at 50,000, maybe Mara turns out that 27, but any pullback off 50,000 I want to be involved with. And here at Real Trading, we can go long. We just got Bitcoin on the platform. Sean and I are the first ones testing it at the company, the firm. But we can't go short. So if I want to play 50,000 short, I'm doing it in an ETF or on one of the equities anyways. So that's another layer of shorting Mara at 27 here.
Right. I was trying to, hold on a second. I wanted to display the high lock crossed on this one because like I was going to put up this for a price down there on Bitcoin,
well,
but
the issue is the level 1.
Yeah, the level 1 is off. So I'll have to figure out a better solution for that. But for right now, we'll just put Bitcoin down here. You can play off the bid, 49.7.
You can use the time and sales for the last.
Yeah, I can use the time and sales. That was right. That wasn't the other solution that I was doing. But or honestly, it's just you won't be able to see the right price. But as Neil just mentioned, ETFs are really solid.
One of them is good.
They've been tracking pretty good so far. That is, of course, the Bitcoin ETFs. And I think the biggest one is the iShares. So that's done already 12 million shares for this. I think the other one that you would want to look at would be GBTC, only now 4 million. So
for price, ARKB is the easiest one. Because ARKB is trading at
like
40,
1-to-1.
Yeah, it's like 49.77
Right.
when Bitcoin's at 49,077. So it's probably from a price standpoint, if you just wanted to watch it for the price, I think this is the one to watch. But if you're trading it, this is not the one to trade.
Right.
It hasn't even done 1 million shares. I think, as Sean mentioned, those are the better trading ones. But I think to watch it, ARKB is okay. But we don't have to worry about that because we have Bitcoin on the platform that we can use as our futures. Oh, okay, so I got the 76 fill, and there it goes right through. Okay, I just got the first fill for profit, and it reloaded, and it's just instantly out on a break at 27 on Mara. So probably did not need to reload that. If I don't reload, we would have been all good. But I did reload that trade, so I'll take an L on that short. If 50,000 breaks, so be it. I do want to look for that long breakout, but 50,000 hasn't actually gone here. I can break out with a stop order long, actually, on Bitcoin if it does take 50,000 just for a scalp play.
yeah,
Now I'm going to put that in, actually. I thought I did.
Yeah, punch that long. I mean, the thing is, like you said, you could try to equate that to a
ETF.
ETF as well. Okay, so just watching the Qs here, it's going to be kind of like a day ruiner here as it just keeps going upside and I just keep shorting it. So not a good trade there for the Qs. But I mean, ultimately we're trying the short here. This is all-time highs for the NASDAQ. So we just got some out right there at 64s off of a short 75 or 73. So it's not, it's not in trouble, but it's also not great right now. Like we'd always rather be in the money than have to wait for the money, but we have to wait now. So hopefully this will pull it back down. We're only short right here at 73, but it has not been a good trade, shorting the Qs into all-time highs for the NASDAQ. So that seems, again, I feel like I'm going to have one of these aha moments here and be like, look back and be like, yeah, that was really dumb, shorting this. But again, we have our reasons. We talked about sort of the euphoria that I believe is happening even just as we speak in these names. If NVIDIA pulls back, then honestly, I'm loving this trade. Here it is. Okay, here it comes back a little bit. We'll take some more out. I'm loving it a lot. I'm taking it out. Let's see now if it pulls back. We had way more exposure on this than I would have thought. So right now it's a huge down, big position, and that move down was not big enough to get me out. So we'll have to get a little lower than this. I have bids low 60s, low 40s, and then if we're really lucky, maybe we'll get something back here to VWAP. But honestly, man, this market is a strong one here today. Needless to say. All right, say hey, A. She's at the big desk.
Did you know that they hit a Willie?
DXY continuing to find support at that earlier area of resistance just above that 104. Strong on the day today. We actually have a lot of Fed comments on watch today. Barkin speaking at 12, Kashkari set to speak at 1. We had Bowman speaking earlier saying that she's not going to be really sure when or how much these rate cuts will be taking effect. So that could be giving the USD a little boost right now. Worth noting, we do have some economic data on the horizon later this week, specifically CPI data on watch tomorrow morning at 8:30, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also worth noting here, just have the New Zealand dollar to the USD, bit of a move down here after some comments about bringing down inflation from New Zealand. So I guess this bringing down the dollar a little bit here to the USD, guys.
Of course. So there's someone in the chats, how's the Mara short doing? I'll tell you exactly how. It was because I got a profit take at 1-to-1, that first trade was going to be a win, but then I reloaded it, took the L. It wicked the top at 27.12 as a local high, showed some selling back underneath, so I jumped back in with my stop at the high. So I'm going to risk 15 pennies on it. Again, maybe a couple cents more with slippage. It's about 20 cents worth of risk. And if it comes back down into local support, that's about a 50-cent range. I'll try to capture 30 for the first out and then play back into 26.25. I'm trading the setup as far as I'm concerned. I'm not trying to go long unless Bitcoin is going to, if Bitcoin's at that 50,000 and still underneath, I'm not trying to go long more at this high. If I could get something like a VWAP dip or a dip into 26 to join that trend, fair enough, but I'm not doing it at the top. The trade that's setting up is that like tight stop short trade that I'll take some pot shots at here with tight stops. But it has to be a tight stop. I'm not averaging past it. I'm not holding to oblivion. The way it's got a short float on it, I respect it. I'll go long the trend if I can get a good entry. I'm just not seeing entries up here when BTC is cresting at that 50,000 level. I just don't, I'm not punching a high. Like, I don't see a setup for me that where going into a long makes any sense, but taking shots at the short. If I could short this on BTC, I might actually consider being in this and giving it a little bit past the 50,000 level. But as I said, we can only go long Bitcoin trading here, real trading.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I mean, the market just blew up, so we got out of our short there. I'm going to go over to Google now and see, because this name is underneath right now, VWAP here. So I feel like this could be a good short up until that 148.60. I know, I'm like throwing darts at this right now. I just, I guess my bias, like I was thinking short. Obviously, it's well up now as the NASDAQ taking out huge highs. So
SoftBank's getting some FOMO right now for damn sure.
SoftBank? Yeah, of course they are.
They're like March 12 can't come fast enough.
Well, look at, wow, they're loving this. So what is
No, they are, but
stock?
like they can't sell till the 12th.
Stock alone is up 5% today.
This is
SoftBank,
insane.
so,
Of course, yeah. They own 90%. Part of the issue with ARM right now is SoftBank owns 90% of the shares, so the amount of the available shares is low on ARM, so it is squeezing to the. It's a squeeze. ARM is squeezing, but if you're not marking off when this is happening, what do you think SoftBank's going to do on the 12th or after the 12th? There's no chance they're not trying to unload some kind of a piece or a tranche or whatever the heck you call it. 140 breaking, if it curls at 150, I'd probably try it. This is a lot of times the best you can do is, hey, I was short this for a couple of seconds, but I have a tight stop. So you limit the loss. If it pulls into VWAP, I'm making $5 on the trade. So I'll risk 50 cents for that. But you don't hold it past because then this nonsense happens. And I'll try something at 150 as well. When you're day trading, you make day trades at the end of the day. And buying up here is not one of them, so congratulations if you got it. I kind of stuck to the name I was comfortable with, so whether it wins or not, like Intel will never be what ARM is going to be. That's the end of it, but you can't chase that trade. Right now I'm looking at the 150 if it can get there. BMR is going as well, you're right, Scotty H. But like there's almost nothing BMR can do. I know it's up 800%, but nothing it can do would be as impressive as when I look at SMCI and ARM and NVIDIA. And I get it, the percentage move here is insane too, but what these other names are doing, to me, is just almost, it's on a different level.
Yeah, you can't really trade ARM with a stop because I didn't trade it now. I'm just saying, like, the levels are 50 cents away from each other. Like, just the spread is 50 cents. So
you traded without a stop word? Was it without a stop?
No, I think you might just have to look a lot higher. You can't just say I'm stopping out of this for a dollar hit because that dollar hit will just happen, and then that's that.
That's fine. All you have to do is get one move in either direction.
Yeah. If you're looking for a dollar, that's fine. But I'm just saying, like, you could be completely right, and then it rips up a dollar, and then you're done. So, like, just right there, it just went down a dollar right now. So, if you're in it, are you taking the profit? Because if you didn't, you just lost $3.
No, but it depends on what your plan is. Like right now, I don't have any level.
I think a dollar stop on this is ridiculously too little, in my opinion, because like
depends on your setup.
Not really, man. I don't think
if you're
this is
trading
a setup at all.
If you're trading it off of like a tight consolidation level, that's very different than trading it out in the ether.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right now, we're all the way
now
up.
when it goes parabolic, I don't know what you do with it when it's this parabolic.
Right, exactly. So that's what I was talking about its current condition.
Yeah,
you can't short this.
No, you could, if you want to give it $5, I guess you could, but I won't touch it.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
A dollar is way too little. That's the point there.
It's trading based on like the parabolic rules for me right now. Like when you see those what's that, BMR, that's when I was the one from today. When that's doing those types of moves, I wait for, if it's consolidating, you can make trades off tight levels. When it's doing this, it's absolute nonsense. But
I have it up.
BTC is now at 49,925, so 50,000 is incoming there as well.
It's carrying this whole market.
Yeah, I mean, this is 50,000's happening today. We didn't come all this way to not break the level. Let's be real for a second. It's gonna take a shot at this level almost any second now. And it's 10:58 because obviously somebody wants to make sure that it's going to be on the midday with Sharif and Adara, conspiring against us to make sure this Bitcoin break doesn't happen until after 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, there's only 2 minutes left.
Right here.
I was trying to watch out for IBIT here as well. We're short Google, but this name here I have Bitcoin down here, 49.93 right now. Wow, what an amazing run for BTC. It just continues to be that success story there. If it breaks and doesn't hold, I think the NASDAQ will fall all over itself. So just watch out here. I mean, look, been wrong before, lots of times. So let's just wait to see what happens with BTC here, as it looks like it is going to break at 10:59 right now. We're $50 away from it. Here's what it looks like, obviously, on Binance as well. These are the quotes coming through on Binance right now, 49,940, and still trying to go upside right now is BTC, looking to break higher right now for you. So I feel like when it does break, you just maybe smash IBIT long. There it goes. I mean, it's going to happen right now. So $50 away from Bitcoin exploding through 50,000, and I say exploding because that's what's probably going to happen. I just want to watch IBIT right now to see if that is what goes down. I'm going to switch. I don't like this down here. I'm going to switch it and put Binance down here so we can get a little bit of a better quote on that one. But again, we had so many problems with my computer that I closed some windows there just for that exact reason. So. Okay, let's put Bitcoin down there, right there like that. Maybe that lets us see that a little bit better. 49,934 right now for King Bitcoin, as it just looks like it wants to continue to go up to the upside. Congratulations, any of you that believed in BTC, man. It's been quite the run. 13 years ago, it was $1. Today, it's $50,000. So, I mean, 13 years ago, it was $1. So, Bitcoin now 50 grand. And doesn't look like it wants to slow down by any stretch of the imagination.
It's insane. Oh, it is 11 o'clock.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's gonna happen after 11 o'clock. But it is 11. It is wild. We'll be back at 2. I'll come back on for the lesson, and by then, I guarantee you, when I do my lesson of the day, Bitcoin will have made that 50,000 move, to be sure. But you know what's up. You got the professor. You got Adara. Go get him.
Apparently we're already here. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That is your girl, Adara.